Welcome, dear disciples. How are you all doing? So, today we have brought another story for you. And trust me, it is absolutely wild. Imagine a regular, broke college student named Zhao Yan who stumbles into a mysterious life exchange club where you can trade lives with anyone. He thinks he's just going to live a carefree billionaire lifestyle. But oh boy, his very first swap triggers absolute, mind-shattering chaos. We've got a stunning secretary who takes off her clothes to give him body warmth, an ice queen counselor teacher who turns into a blushing mess from his blatant flirting, a gorgeous martial arts wife delivering a brutal taekwondo axe kick to the skull, and a legendary, mysterious female tycoon who stays youthful forever and literally drops everything to team up with him. The best part? Zhao Yan goes back in time, casually leaves a trail of world-class tech billionaires indebted to him, and returns to the modern world only to have tech icons bowing at his feet. The look of absolute terror and pure shock on the faces of his arrogant rivals when they see him pulling off these slick, god-level moves is just chef's kiss. They're literally sweating bullets and crying waterfalls. But guys, the real danger is just starting because a massive, ruthless tournament is about to erupt where everyone's life points are up for grabs. So, is our handsome genius going to completely dominate the system, or did he just walk right into a deadly trap? To know what happens next, watch this complete video. Let's get right into it. Friends, imagine this. An elite billionaire boss, openly engaging in an affair and discussing life with his beautiful secretary right in a luxurious hotel room. Or maybe, college junior student gets rich overnight, hires beautiful classmate as live-in maid. Or maybe, a wealthy female tycoon initiating a romance, freely offering billions of dollars. Is this twisted human nature, or just complete moral degeneracy? A mysterious voice echoed, asking, "My friend, do you want to experience these lives too? Are you facing problems you just can't solve? Are you tired of your current life? Then exchange your life, and let others help you solve it." For more details, stay tuned for the Life Exchange Club. Then we see our guy, Zhao Yan, a junior at Manhwa University. He stared at his phone, completely panicked. He shouted, asking what on earth this was, wondering if he was hallucinating because he had been completely set up. Just then, his roommate Zhang Yuan grabbed him playfully. Zhang Yuan laughed and asked why Zhao Yan was acting all panicked like a frightened cat. He asked, "You didn't really send a text to that girl, did you?" Zhao Yan gasped in confusion. Huh? Zhao Yan frantically waved his hands in the air, asking Zhang Yuan if he couldn't see the glowing words right in front of him. But guys, Zhang Yuan was completely clueless. He called Zhao Yan stupid, asking what words he was talking about, before snatching his phone to see what naughty things they were chatting about. Look, I'm telling you guys, having your friend read your risky texts out loud is a universal nightmare. Zhao Yan's face turned pale with sheer terror. He thought to himself, am I the only one who can see this? Seriously? Could this be a prelude to becoming a ghost? Meanwhile, Zhang Yuan scrolled through the phone with a loud tap. The messages were terrifying. The other person had texted, "I'm your counselor, Chinyuro. Meet me in the classroom." Zhang Yuan yelled out in shock, "Whoa, old Zhao, you really sent it." Zhang Yuan burst into hysterical laughter, tears in his eyes. He warned Zhao Yan that daring to flirt with Binhai's ice queen meant he was in for a spectacular demise. That smile vanished real quick. A cold sweat broke out on Zhao Yan's face as the dreadful realization hit him. He muttered in disbelief, "Seriously? It's Chun." Afterwards, his other roommates, Lu Chong and Chun Mao, strolled up. Lu Chong sighed, saying that with Chun Yuro's strict personality, he could only mourn for Zhao Yan in silence for 3 minutes. Chun Mao chimed in, joking that it reminded him of Mr. Lu Sun's quote about some people being alive but already gone. With a sharp snatching motion, Zhao Yan grabbed his phone back. He angrily corrected them, shouting that it was Zhang Kejia who said that. He yelled at them for fooling him with all this nonsense, furious that they had tricked him into thinking the other side was a lonely 19-year-old female college student. Zhang Yuan just kept laughing, mocking Zhao Yan by asking if he hadn't righteously claimed he wouldn't at her. He called him truly hypocritical scum. Looking utterly defeated, Zhao Yan innocently asked, "Did I do something wrong?" He thought, "I just wanted to selflessly offer my body to warm this girl's restless heart, that's all." Suddenly, a chilling voice echoed from the balcony above. "Zhao Yan." It was Counselor Chun Yuro herself, glaring down with an icy authority. She commanded him to come to her office, wanting to see just how naughty he really was. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. He stuttered, asking what in the world was happening. Chun Yuro adjusted her glasses, her gaze piercing right through him. She coldly stated that daring to openly flirt with her was a first in Binhai University's history. She ordered him to come up immediately and not make her wait. In the next scene, his loyal roommates instantly betrayed him, dramatically waving goodbye. They wished him luck, joking that in 18 years he'd be a flirtatious man again, and promised to burn incense for his memory. Tears streamed down Zhao Yan's face as he cried out, asking if they were trying to play him to his end. At this time, the world around him seemed to freeze as glowing blue lines descended from the sky. A massive, futuristic holographic screen materialized right in front of him. It read, "Invitation TO Join Life Exchange Club." Would you like to join now? Yes or no? Bathed in the eerie blue light, Zhao Yan's eyes widened in sheer disbelief. He gasped, it's happening again. But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. A wild, almost unhinged grin spread across Zhao Yan's face. As his trembling finger reached out to press yes, he declared, life is such a mess. Why fear the unknown? The moment he touched the screen, a thunderous explosion of glowing blue shards erupted around him, shattering reality itself. He was instantly pulled into a mesmerizing digital void, falling through an endless stream of glowing data and floating fragments. When he finally opened his eyes, he was standing in a massive, high-tech hub filled with bizarre creatures, including a giant polka-dot horned beast. Looking around in absolute bewilderment, he stuttered, asking where on earth this was. Zhao Yan looked around in pure disbelief. He exclaimed, is this the Life Exchange Club? This is really amazing. Am I not dreaming? A smooth voice replied from right in front of him. She said, Mr. Zhao, you are not dreaming. The woman turned around, revealing herself to be a stunning lady in a stylish outfit. She smiled warmly and explained, you have become a member of this club. Here, you can exchange lives with anyone, even animals. I am called Sue, the club manager. Still trying to wrap his head around it, Zhao Yan asked, Manager Sue, can we really exchange lives here? Of course. Everyone can see their potential exchange partner's basic information and choose who to exchange with. The holographic boards showcased an insane lineup of candidates. There was Lu Meng, a rising male idol with millions of fans. Then there was Mo Ching Wu, a wealthy and renowned female entrepreneur. And guys, there was even a fluffy white cat named Puppet, an internationally renowned celebrity pet who gets to sleep in bed with beautiful women every night. I'm telling you guys, that cat has a better life than me. Sue leaned in slightly, her tone encouraging. She explained, once you find a suitable partner, you can agree on the terms and duration of the exchange. There are no force conditions. It is very flexible. Zhao Yan stroked his chin, a serious expression crossing his face as he pondered a critical issue. He thought, wait, if I have a girlfriend and exchange lives, will I not get cheated on? But then, a moment of tragic realization hit him. He muttered to himself, well, I do not have one anyway. Sensing his hesitation, Sue quickly reassured him. Do not worry. Before the exchange, you can sign an agreement to limit sharing specific memories and specify things that cannot be done. Once signed, neither party can violate it. Zhao Yan sighed in relief, replying, oh, I see. Then he asked, and how can I come here again next time? Sue said, you can come here whenever you want just by thing about here, or I go find a suitable person. But then, a wave of insecurity washed over him. He thought, I am just an ordinary, broke, handsome guy. Will anyone even want to exchange with me? Brushing off his doubts, he decided to check his own standing. He told himself, never mind. Let's take a look at my profile first. Mimicking the other members, he swiped his hand through the air. He whispered, I see others just swipe their hands like this, got it? Instantly, a glowing blue panel materialized in front of him. It read aloud, respected lifetime member, your information is Zhao Yan. Male, unemployed, no fixed assets, no stable income. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the room shifted. A group of intense-looking members turned their heads, their eyes locking onto Zhao Yan with predatory focus. The exact second he knew he messed up. Look at those faces. The crowd's eyes widened in sheer excitement, almost as if they had just spotted a walking gold mine. In the next scene, utter chaos erupted. The crowd swarmed him from all sides. A man yelled, Brother Zhao, I am a rich second generation. Do you want to consider exchanging with me? Another shouted, how about exchanging with me? I'm a world champion. Voices overlapped in a frantic frenzy as movie stars and mega influencers begged to trade lives with him. Guys, honestly, is it just me who is confused over here? A literal talking gorilla roared in the background. Surrounded by this madness, Zhao Yan broke into a cold sweat. He screamed out in panic. Oh my god. He thought wildly. No way. Am I really so popular just by being a normal handsome guy? He scrambled backward, desperately trying to put some distance between himself and the ravenous crowd. He stuttered out in terror. Do not tell me there is a trap. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. I need to be cautious and steady. After 3 minutes, a tall, imposing figure in a sharp navy suit stepped forward, cutting through the crowd. He looked down at Zhao Yan, and Zhao Yan demanded firmly, you, let us talk in private. The man stood with undeniable authority, radiating wealth and power. He offered a confident smile and said, hello, I am honored to be your first exchange partner. My name is Chun Han. Zhao Yan recognized him immediately. He thought to himself, the 32-year-old chairman of Hanjiang Group, the most famous entrepreneur in Binhai City. This should be enough for me to show off. Still suspicious, he asked, Mr. Chun, I do not understand. I am just an ordinary person. Why do you want to exchange with me? Chun Han calmly held up 2 fingers, explaining the club's bizarre ecosystem. Here, 2 types of people are most popular. One is those who are very capable, and the other is ordinary people like you. That is why people with simple life problems, like you, are usually very popular here. Zhao Yan's face immediately dropped into a deadpan stare. He grumbled internally, nonsense. So I am popular just because I'm a loser? Well, I am confused too, guys. Ignoring Zhao Yan's bruised ego, Chen Han continued. By solving the other person's life problems and making their life more colorful, both parties will receive life points after the exchange. And life points can be used to redeem anything you want in the club store. Zhao Yan's eyes lit up with greed as he cheered. Anything? That is awesome. Chen Han offered a sharp, almost menacing smirk. He whispered confidently, of course. How else did I make billions at such a young age? Zhao Yan hesitated, wanting to establish his boundaries. He stated firmly, I just want to experience the extravagant life of the wealthy. I do not want to solve any problems. And if I cannot solve the other person's problems and make their life better, will there be punishment? Chen Han turned and began walking toward the private rooms. No punishment, he assured him. You just will not get any points. So, do we sign the agreement? Without missing a beat, Zhao Yan eagerly followed, shouting, then what are we waiting for? Let us sign it. Guys, I would have made the same choice. In the next scene, the two men sat across from each other in a luxurious private member's restroom. A beautiful attendant in a green dress stood nearby, holding the contract. She instructed smoothly, when you both confirm the agreement, just say the confirmation word. Zhao Yan unrolled a massive, ridiculously long scroll of paper detailing Chen Han's issues. His sweat dropped, thinking, Chen Han has quite a few life problems, but I am too lazy to read them. I cannot solve them anyway. Meanwhile, Chen Han glanced at Zhao Yan's short profile and chuckled. Your life problem is Chun Euro. What a coincidence. She is my real sister. It is like giving me free points. Zhao Yan's jaw practically hit the floor. His eyes bulged out in sheer disbelief. He screamed internally, what the heck? It is really a coincidence. He is so incredibly lucky. After finalizing the terms, the green-dressed attendant gestured to them gracefully. She requested, both of you, please close your eyes. As they closed their eyes, a blinding pillar of digital data erupted from the center of the table, wrapping around them in a mesmerizing stream of light. Suddenly, Zhao Yan found himself floating in a dark, empty void. Muffled voices echoed through the darkness, calling out in panic. Chairman Chun, are you okay? Chairman Chun, do not scare me. A piercing flash of light slashed through his vision. He groaned in agony, feeling a massive headache splitting his skull. He thought dizzily, my head hurts so much. Is this a success? His vision slowly began to clear, revealing the blurry silhouette of a woman kneeling over him. Still disoriented, he mumbled, where is this? As his vision finally focused, he found himself staring directly at Secretary Xu Shui, who was dressed in a very revealing outfit. She let out a desperate sigh of relief and cried, thank goodness, Chairman Chun, you finally woke up? You really scared me just now. Taking in the extremely compromising view right in front of his face, Zhao Yan was completely stunned. He thought excitedly, wow, what is going on here? But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Looking down, he realized he was now inhabiting Chen Han's incredibly muscular, shirtless body, and the beautiful secretary was positioned right between his legs. He swallowed hard, blushing furiously. He thought, this way of starting the life exchange. His heart pounded in his chest as the reality of his new billionaire lifestyle hit him like a truck. A wicked mix of shock and excitement washed over his face. He exclaimed internally, it is way too thrilling. Guys, I know what you want to see. Zhao Yan thought. What is happening? The beautiful secretary, Xu Shui, was leaning over him anxiously. She explained, I knocked on the door, but no one responded, so I just came in. Then I found you lying on the floor, and it scared me. Zhao Yan, currently stuck in the billionaire Chun Dong's body, blushed hard. He replied, I can't understand, but why did you take off my clothes and undress yourself like this? He thought it must be the first time we swapped bodies, and it is causing some discomfort. I remember someone mentioning that our bodies need time to adjust. Xu Shui looked at him with teary eyes. Her face flushed red as she explained, I was worried about you. You were so cold, and I wanted to give you my body warmth. Well, I also want this kind of secretary, guys. Zhao Yan's mind started racing as he recognized her. He thought, I remember now, this woman is Xu Shui, 24 years old, and she is Chen Dong's secretary. She has tried to seduce him a few times, but he never fell for her. What an ambitious woman. Laying there, Zhao Yan said, oh, I see. Well, let's continue. Xu Shui got confused and asked, continue? But hey, Zhao Yan wasn't the original Chen Dong. A devious smile crept onto his face as he thought, living the life of a tycoon is so wonderful. Secretary leaning and said, then I will not hold back. He watched as she leaned in closer. Suddenly, a series of heavy knocks echoed against the heavy wooden door. A voice called out, Chairman Chun. That smile vanished real quick. Zhao Yan panicked instantly, waving his hands as he yelled, wait. The door swung open, revealing another female employee holding a stack of files. She announced, Chairman Chun, the shareholders' meeting is about to begin. Here are the documents you wanted. But seeing all this, she froze, letting out a confused gasp. Seeing the completely compromised position of her boss and the secretary, the employee was utterly shocked. She trembled and dropped the papers, stammering apologies. She said, I am sorry, Chairman Shun. I thought you were not coming to the conference room, so I got anxious and came in. Zhao Yan smoothly stood up, confidently showing off Chun Dong's chiseled physique, and lied through his teeth. He explained, you misunderstood, the room was too hot, and I started sweating so I felt uncomfortable on my back. So I asked her to help me wipe it. It is reasonable, right? Shu Shui immediately played along, blushing deeply as she quickly added, yes, I was just helping him wipe his sweat. The employee, sweating bullets and visibly terrified of losing her job, nodded aggressively. She replied, yes, yes, very reasonable. She hurriedly placed the documents on the table, her hands shaking violently as she said, the documents are here. I am leaving now. Afterwards, as soon as the door clicked shut, Shu Shui sighed in relief, holding her chest. Phew, that scared me. Zhao Yan gave her a charming smirk and said, do not worry, I am here. But we will have to continue our matter another time. He swiftly picked up his dress shirt, slipping his arms into the sleeves. He declared confidently, I have important business to attend to now. As he adjusted his collar, a calculating look crossed his face. He thought to himself, according to Chun Dong's memory, there is a board of directors meeting to remove him as the chairman. He grabbed a fresh cup of coffee, completely unbothered by the high stakes. He thought, anyway, it is not my life, let's just have some fun. Looking absolutely sharp and exuding a powerful aura, he announced, I will go and meet those shareholders. Shu Shui, totally mesmerized, quickly followed, saying, Chairman Shun, wait for me. I will accompany you. Meanwhile, inside the grand boardroom, the tension was thick. Shareholders were whispering among themselves. One complained, what is wrong with Chun Dong? Why is he not here yet? Another added, he has been acting unreasonably recently, completely neglecting the company's affairs. A third chimed in, I think he is considering retirement. Suddenly, with a heavy crash, the massive boardroom door was kicked wide open. Zhao Yan strutted into the room with complete arrogance, casually sipping his coffee and singing cheerfully, brawl, 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 brawl. The shareholders jumped in their seats, utterly bewildered. They stared at him like he had lost his mind. One lady asked confusedly, Chun Dong, is this? Another shareholder leaned forward. Chairman Shun, what is going on here? Ignoring all the formalities, Zhao Yan walked right up to the head chair, slumped into it, and kicked his legs up onto the polished mahogany table. He stretched out lazily. These few days have been exhausting, and my back is so sore. At this time, He Ming, the strict vice chairman of Hanjiang Group, slammed his hands down in frustration. He demanded, Chairman Chun, this is the shareholders' meeting. Please be serious. Zhao Yan stared directly at He Ming with a piercing gaze. He thought, according to Chun Dong's memory, this guy is the mastermind behind this shareholders' meeting. He Ming glared right back, adjusting his glasses. He firmly stated, Chairman Chun, I hope you can be serious. This is about respecting all shareholders. He Ming's confident expression shattered into utter shock as he let out a confused gasp, because nobody could have imagined this. Zhao Yan literally climbed onto the boardroom table, towering over the vice chairman. He shouted mockingly, bite me if you want to bite me. Come on, bite me. He thought, it is not my life. I am not afraid of anything. Let's go crazy. He Ming's veins bulged on his forehead as he roared back, Chun Dong, you are just being crude. Zhao Yan crouched down, his face inches from He Ming's, an intimidating shadow falling over his eyes. He smirked, cannot help it. I'm a rough man. Naturally, I am crude. Even if you were too delicate, it would not make me lose my temper, right? He Ming crossed his arms, refusing to back down. He argued, I will not argue with you. You have been consistently mismanaging the company, and on top of that, you lost the ManhwaCapped deal. I believe you are no longer suitable to continue as the chairman of Hanjiang Group. Zhao Yan's expression turned serious as he recalled the details. He thought, previously, ManhwaCapped chose not to collaborate with Hanjiang Group because a company named Changhong Trading offered a 5% higher bid. This matter was suspicious from the beginning, and now it seems that He Ming is highly suspicious. Just then, Zhao Yan lunged across the table towards He Ming with a loud shout, completely disregarding his status. He grabbed the back of He Ming's chair, getting right up in his ear. He growled, Hanjiang Group is the result of my hard work, and it has been helping everyone make money. If there's a slight mistake now, and you want to kick me when I am down, Mr. He, aren't you being a bit shameless? He Ming nervously tried to push him away, saying, you let go of me. I am not interested in engaging in meaningless arguments with you. He Ming then turned to the rest of the room with a sinister, triumphant grin. He called out, all of you do not just stand around idle. Let's express our opinions. Who supports the proposal to remove Chairman Chun Dong? A wave of hands shot up into the air. Almost every single shareholder in the long room voted against him. He Ming shot a mocking look at Zhao Yan, declaring confidently, do you see it? You will not be able to sit in this position for much longer. Zhao Yan calmly stepped off the table and slowly settled back into his luxurious leather chair, completely unfazed. He asked, won't be able to sit for much longer, really? He crossed his legs, a dark, chaotic smile forming on his lips. He casually dropped a bombshell. I see. In that case, I will sell all my shares and then proceed to dismantle Hanjiang Group. Hanjiang Group was built by my own hands in just 4 short years. I think it will be even easier to destroy it. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. The older shareholders immediately panicked. One older man pleaded, Chundong, you do not need to play this big game, do you? Hanjiang Group is thriving. Why self-destruct? Zhao Yan rested his chin on his hand, his eyes glowing with ruthless authority. He replied coldly, do not waste your breath. You all chose this. Do you doubt my ability? The threat worked flawlessly. The purple-haired lady immediately changed her tune, nervously laughing. I support Chairman Chun. Hanjiang has been making money under his leadership. The chubby shareholder quickly agreed, clutching his chest. We cannot judge a hero's achievements based on short-term success or failure. I also support Chairman Chun. Zhao Yan's eyes narrowed sharply, a brilliant, calculated glint in his gaze. He observed, that is right. You are right. As shareholders, we should not be swayed by someone's persuasion and change sides easily. Himing completely lost his cool. He stood up, pointing aggressively as he yelled, Chundong, you are shameless. How is this any different from a gangster? Zhao Yan just laughed softly, replying, no difference, bite me if you can. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet. Zhao Yan leaned forward, clasping his hands together, his demeanor turning icy cold. He announced, okay, let us propose this. Due to Vice Chairman He's excessive mental stress, he is no longer suitable for his position. We officially relieve him of his duties as Vice Chairman so that he can rest and recover from his hard work for the company. The terrified shareholders instantly agreed like a flock of sheep. Voices echoed through the room. Chairman Chun, wise decision, and I strongly support it. This is so humane, I also support it. Yes, you should take a good rest. Himing was trembling with pure fury, his glasses slipping down his sweaty face. He gritted his teeth and shouted, you bunch of two-faced scoundrels. Zhao Yan ignored him completely. He turned to Xu Shui with a commanding look and instructed, Secretary Xu, draft the document and start the voting process. She smiled brightly, entirely pleased. Yes, Chairman Chun. 5 minutes later, the documents were piled neatly on the desk. A voice formally announced, Chundong's vote has been counted. It is unanimously passed. Zhao Yan looked down at his defeated rival with a satisfied, mocking smile. He declared, Vice Chairman you are relieved of all your positions now. You can go home and rest peacefully. Himing glared at him, his voice shaking with absolute rage as he spat out, Chundong. With a sharp crash, Himing slammed his hands against the table, lunging forward like a madman. He screamed, Chundong, you absolute insult. I'm not sick. The room erupted into chaos as security guards rushed in, grabbing Himing by the arms to hold him back. He struggled violently, yelling, let me go, as he continued to roar, Chundong, I will end you. Zhao Yan simply watched the spectacle with a cold, victorious smirk. He ordered calmly, Himing's mental state is getting worse. I feel like he might attack someone at any moment. Security, please escort Vice Chairman to rest. The guards forcefully dragged the thrashing Vice Chairman towards the exit. Himing continued to struggle, shouting over his shoulder, Chundong, this matter is not over. Come on, guys, Zhao Yan's acting skills here are Oscar-worthy. He turned to the remaining board members with a completely fake expression of sadness. He asked, Himing is leaving us. Aren't you all going to wish him well? The shareholders, sweating profusely and eager to save their own skins, immediately waved hypocritically. They shouted, Himing, have a safe journey. Do not worry. Himing, you will always be in our hearts. Take care of yourself. Himing, for all eternity. Hearing this unbelievable betrayal, Himing let out a visceral, agonizing gasp, practically coughing up his own sheer frustration as his spirit completely broke. Zhao Yan looked on, his eyes glowing with an intense, intimidating dark aura. He declared dramatically, look, everyone, Vice Chairman, he has put his heart and soul into the company. He even collapsed from the strain, insisting that he is not sick. It is truly moving. The remaining shareholders sat frozen in their seats, pale and trembling in sheer horror. They all thought the exact same thing. Chundong, the chairman, is very terrifying. Meanwhile, back at the towering headquarters in Binhai capital city, Miss Expectant Secretary approached with her notebook. She said, Chairman Chun, Chairman he left his positions for personal reasons, so the Vice Chairman position is now. Chairman Chun leaned on the desk and declared, the role of Vice Chairman is crucial. Let's leave it vacant until we find the right person. Elsewhere, a calculating executive grinned. From what he said, it seems like an opportunity is coming. Vice Chairman, I have been longing for this position for a long time. I have to perform well from now on. Back with Chairman Chun, he smirked confidently. It looks like these guys have been temporarily dealt with. While someone asked, Chairman Chun, the cooperation with Binhai Capital was taken away by Changhong Trading. Are we just going to let it go like this? An angry, bitter lady slammed her hand on the table. After preparing for so long, we end up being the one making a wedding dress for someone else. I am not willing to accept this. We were only 5% away from the bid. How could things be so coincidental? There must be a mole in the company. Chairman Chun sat quietly, clasping his hands together. Don't worry, he said calmly. Leave this matter for me to handle. The room murmured in approval. Chairman Chun is indeed well prepared, one praised. This is the true nature of a self-made billionaire, another added. Leave this matter to Chairman Chun. Nothing will go wrong. Chun leaned back lazily. What a mess. Who knows how to deal with this? I came here for a life of luxury. Whether they sign the contract or not is none of my business. Chairman Chun cleared his throat loudly. Now that everything is settled, I announce the meeting is adjourned. As the executives filed out, Zhang Zong chuckled to his colleagues. Vice Chairman, he's been taken down. Looks like you're in a good mood. His colleague whispered back, can't say that out loud. Huh. In his private office, Chairman Chun looked at his beautiful secretary. I have something to attend to. Please cancel all my schedules for the next 2 days. Okay, Chairman Chun, she replied. By the way, he added, please investigate the background of Changhong trading as soon as possible. He reached out and patted her head. Very obedient, he teased. The secretary blushed deeply. Chairman Chun, don't act like this. It's not good if someone sees us. He adjusted his tie with a charming smile. You're right, it's not good. She looked up at him with wide, hopeful eyes, thinking, what? Did I pretend to be a good woman too much? He gently touched her cheek. So, next time let's find a place where no one can see us and have a discreet discussion. I have something to do today, you can go back first. With a soft click-clack of her heels, she turned and walked away. Her tight skirt swayed with every step. Look guys, he's definitely enjoying the view. A mischievous grin spread across his face. It's time to have some fun. With a roaring engine, a bright red sports car sped through the city, pulling up to the luxurious Binhai International Hotel. He stepped out of the flashy car with absolute swagger. He looked up at the towering structure. Binhai International Hotel, the best hotel in Binhai capital city. He smirked to himself. Everything is great, except it's expensive. However, being expensive is not the hotel's fault. It's my own fault for being poor. A bellboy immediately greeted him. Welcome, Chairman Chun. He strode through the grand entrance. The life of the rich is so enjoyable. Madam Purple Suit hurried over. Chairman Chun, will everything be the same as you usually order? He grinned at her. No, I'll order the dishes myself today. She nodded eagerly. Okay. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out, brother? He turned around, surprised. It was his sister, Chinyuro. But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Walking right behind her was Zhao Yan. That's right, the real Qindong was inside Zhao Yan's body. He panicked for a second, sweating under the collar. Unbelievable. Is it really such a coincidence? He thought. He stumbled his words, saying he just came to have a meal, and asked who was with her. Qindong, in Zhao Yan's body, stepped forward and extended his hand. Hello, I'm a student of Teacher Chun. My name is Zhao Yan. Yuro watched him, thinking, Zhao Yan seems to be quite confident. Zhao Yan, inside Chun Han's body, shook his hand firmly with a sly smile. Since we have switched bodies, it's time for revenge, he thought. He leaned in and said, hello, I'm Yuro's brother, Qindong. This girl has been spoiled, has a bad temper, doesn't understand human emotions, likes to cause trouble, and acts ruthlessly. Qindong, trapped in Zhao Yan's body, looked absolutely horrified. He muttered in disbelief. Yuro stepped forward, visibly annoyed. Brother, is it necessary to say such things about your sister? He just shrugged. What I said is still too mild. Qindong was furious internally. You little brat, you dare to use my body to badmouth my sister? Seeking revenge in public. But out loud, he forced a strained smile. No, actually, Teacher Chun is very amiable, gentle, and very understanding. He laughed and brushed him off. Right, you two talk. I have a dinner appointment. Little sister, don't bully people, okay? Yuro glared at him. What did you say? He walked away happily. Time is limited. Let's enjoy ourselves first. Yuro adjusted her glasses, looking confused. My brother is acting strange today. Zhao Yan, said to Teacher Yuro, ahem, I think your brother's words, just now were probably meant for me. After all, Teacher Chun is so beautiful. Your brother must be afraid that I would have ulterior motives towards you. That's why he said those things. She then looked at Zhao Yan. Really? I never expected Zhao Yan to be so broad-minded. She smiled softly. This brat might actually have feelings for me. I feel a bit moved for some reason. In the next scene, inside a lavish golden private room, a massive feast was laid out before him. Several beautiful hostesses stood by. Are you satisfied with today's dishes? One asked. The table was covered with glowing, perfectly cooked steaks and luxurious seafood. Every bite looked like pure wealth and extravagance. He wiped his mouth with a napkin, thoroughly satisfied. Not bad. Both of you come and have a drink with me, and the other two dance for me to see. I'll give each of you 10,000. Miss Blue Toast handed him a drink. Chairman Chun, this sister would like to propose a toast to you. He laughed joyfully. That's right. Let's continue to have fun. The other two girls began to sway and dance gracefully in the middle of the room. He leaned back, completely surrounded by beautiful women. Money is really detestable. It makes people feel miserable and helpless. A wide, blissful smile spread across his face. It's a pity those three rascals in the dorm and those classmates from school can't see the current me. Miss Pink Lap hugged his arm. Qindong, what are you thinking about so deeply? He smirked. I thought of something fun. Come on, give me a blow to cheer me up. She looked at him seductively. Hello, is it here? He pointed enthusiastically. Yes, go and get a flute and blow it, play a tune to entertain me. I think you all guys know which flute she's playing. The hostesses giggled together. So, it's playing a real flute. I thought there's a sideline opportunity to make money again. It's a pity. I want to taste what it feels like to be a wealthy person. Guys, do you know what C wants to taste? His eyes suddenly widened with a brilliant idea. Yes, a wealthy person. Wait, I thought a way to show off as the real me. Afterwards, the scene shifts to the track field at Binhai University. Next group, Class 3, 800 meters start. The students were jogging on the track. One guy teased his friend. Didn't the Ice Queen teacher call for you? How did she punish you? He shot back. You still have the courage to say that after framing me like that? Suddenly, everyone stopped and gasped. Hey, isn't that a Rolls Royce? Who drove that in here? Heavens, it's a phantom, so luxurious. Even Zhao Yan on the track stopped and stared in utter confusion. Huh, a massive, sleek black Rolls Royce pulled right up to the edge of the field. What's going on here? A crowd immediately gathered around the stunning vehicle. Such grandeur, quick, take a picture of this. The license plate read a 77777. Pure, unadulterated status. Zhao Yan watched as a polished dress shoe stepped out. It's my car. With a heavy, synchronized thud, multiple men in black suits marched out. Zhao Yan, inside Chairman Chen's body, walked forward confidently, flanked by a massive squad of towering bodyguards. The students went wild. Unbelievable. It's Chen Dong, and he's walking towards us. Why did he come to this school? Rich people are so cool. A girl grabbed her friend excitedly. It's the first time I've seen the real Chen Dong. Yes, I only saw him on TV before. I didn't expect him to be so tall and handsome. Zhao Yan thought, what's this kid up to again? Chen walked toward the running track with absolute authority, bathing in the glory. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. He suddenly stopped, looking completely stunned. They all bowed deeply to the student in the white shirt. The real Zhao Yan. Young master, I finally found you, they cried. I can't handle the company anymore. Please come back and take charge. Zhao Yan, trapped in Chen Dong's body, looked like his soul just left him. Huh, what kind of drama is this? The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. Friends, the real Chen Han, now trapped inside Zhao Yan's student body, was absolutely losing his mind. He glared at the men bowing before him and shouted, I've lived for so many years, and I've never seen such a shameless person. He realized Zhao Yan was using his new billionaire status to hire actors, just to make his original student identity look like a hidden tycoon. Chen Han cursed, using my body to make yourself more popular. This audacity is unbelievable. Meanwhile, the campus was in total uproar. His bitter classmates screamed, you could pretend to be poor, but why do you still want to snatch last year's financial aid from me? The other students were completely stunned, whispering among themselves, Han Jiang Group actually belongs to him? Chen Dong is just a figurehead. This is incredible. Suddenly, Lu Chong lunged forward, grabbing him tightly by the shoulders. He exclaimed, hey, you've been hiding so deeply. Zhang Yuan chimed in, pointing a finger and smiling brightly. Brother, we have been friends for so long. You do remember all the good things I did for you, right? But guys, Chen Han wasn't having any of it. In a fit of rage, he delivered a swift punch, sending Zhang Yuan flying backward. He roared, what brother, what good things? You were just trying to gain favors from him. Zhao Yan covered his face, practically trembling as the students continued to misinterpret the situation. He thought to himself in pure frustration, the arrogance, he's just pretending, there's no one worse than him. In the next scene, a wicked, victorious smirk formed in the shadows. Look, I'm telling you guys, Zhao Yan was having the time of his life. Basking in the glory of his fabricated hidden billionaire persona, he thought, finally, I've managed to make everyone think I'm the real deal. As the actor bowed deeply, pleading for mercy, Zhao Yan felt absolutely ecstatic and carefree. Meanwhile, Chun Yuro was watching from a distance, completely mesmerized. Holding her documents tightly, she wondered, who is Zhao Yan exactly? Why is even my brother so respectful to him? She couldn't help but feel captivated by this mysterious man. Back on the ground, Chen Dong, still stuck in the student's body, glared and muttered, you so sly. The hired actors were still putting on a flawless performance. The main man in the suit gestured dramatically and announced, don't want to take charge, then let the young master return and inherit the family property. That was the last straw. Chen Dong fiercely kicked the men away, screaming, get lost. Get lost as far as you can. How shameless. The actors easily tumbled back, casually replying, fine. Tears streamed down Chen Dong's face as the overwhelming regret set in. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. He cried, the biggest mistake of my life was making this deal with this pretentious person. He trembled at the thought, wondering what else Zhao Yan had done with his body. But the surrounding students were completely misreading the room. They watched in absolute awe. I can't believe it. The boss just left so dejectedly, one gasped. Another pointed out, he dares to talk to him like that. No one else dares. A hidden big shot indeed. Later that evening, at the luxurious mansion, a sweet, melodic voice echoed through the halls, calling out, "Brother." Zhao Yan was comfortably leaning back on the sofa when Chun Yuro approached from behind. She asked curiously, "What's the matter with Zhao Yan? Why are you calling him young master?" Leaning back with a confident smile, Zhao Yan decided to weave an unbelievable lie. "This is a long story, but you should know," he began smoothly. "Everyone thinks I made it big from scratch, but actually, Zhao Yan was the one making all the decisions. I was just a puppet." Chun Yuro gasped in utter shock. "What?" she exclaimed, pressing her hands to her chest. She had always admired her brother, but hearing that her student, Zhao Yan, was the true mastermind behind the Hanjiang group left her speechless. She thought, no wonder his way of speaking and demeanor are so similar to my brother. As she calculated the timeline, a deep blush spread across her cheeks. Wait, she realized, Zhao Yan was already so capable at the age of 15. Is he even human? She gazed at him in sheer awe, amazed that such an extraordinary man existed in the world. But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Caught up in the admiration, Chun Yuro playfully unbuttoned her overshirt, exposing her figure as she purred, "Brother." She leaned in close, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Is there more? Tell me more about him." Zhao Yan instantly broke a sweat, feeling the heavy pressure of the situation. He nervously replied, "This. Talking about others behind their backs is not appropriate. Just be kind to him at school, that's enough. Well, I know what you guys are thinking in your big head." Unable to handle the intense proximity, he stood up abruptly, making up an excuse. "I have to attend the charity gala tonight. I'll leave now." Inwardly, he was screaming, "Who can withstand this temptation? If this continues, I'll be embarrassed." But she wasn't letting him go that easily. She grabbed onto his sleeve, pleading sweetly, "Brother, kind brother, I'll join you to the gala. Tell me more on the way." Zhao Yan awkwardly stammered, about that. "Guys, I want to exchange my body too." He practically sprinted toward the door like his life depended on it. "No need. I already have a companion," he shouted while making a hasty escape. He thought to himself in sheer panic. If she finds out I have a physical reaction to my sister, she'll definitely think her older brother is a total weirdo. Meanwhile, Chun Yuro sat back, utterly confused by his strange behavior. Afterwards, a sleek red sports car tore through the bright city lights, heading straight for the charity banquet. Inside the car, Secretary Xu Shui sat nervously in the passenger seat, a slight blush on her face. "I never expected Chairman Chun to invite me to the gala," she said softly. Zhao Yan kept his eyes on the road and replied coldly, "I didn't invite you for nothing. I asked you to investigate the background of Changhong Trading. How is the investigation going?" Getting straight to business, she explained, "I found out that Changhong has two shareholders. The chairman holds 20%. The other shareholder, Zhou Ping, holds 80% and is the younger brother of He Ming. Clearly, he's holding shares on behalf of He Ming." As they pulled up to the venue, Zhao Yan nodded in satisfaction. "You did a good job. Keep up the good work," he praised. "In that case, He Ming's embezzlement is unlikely to go unnoticed. The remaining task is to find the evidence." They walked up to the grand glass doors, where a polite valet warmly directed them. "Chairman Chun, please, the charity banquet is on the 7th floor." Zhao Yan simply replied, "Okay." Stepping into the luxurious hall, they were immediately greeted by an older gentleman. "Chairman Chun, you're a bit late," the man chuckled, admiring his presence. "You are as distinguished as ever. Please sit here." Just then, Xu Shui leaned in and whispered, "Chairman Chun, the person over there with glasses? That's Liu Hai, the chairman of Binhai International, who's cooperating with Changhong this time." A confident smile crept onto Zhao Yan's face as he noted, "What a coincidence." The event quickly kicked off as the charismatic anchor took the stage. He addressed the wealthy crowd, announcing, "Since it's a charity banquet, naturally, donations will be made before the banquet starts." Immediately, hands shot up across the room as the elite flashed their wealth. Bids rang out. Marriott Group, 5 million. Green Ridge Company, 3 million. Yuan Tang Group, 4 million. Suddenly, a loud voice cut through the noise, silencing the hall. "On behalf of Master Zhao Yan." Zhao Yan leaned back in his chair, flashing 2 arrogant peace signs, and casually dropped a bombshell, a donation of 30 million. The entire room froze in absolute disbelief. The jaws of the wealthiest elites dropped to the floor, completely overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the donation. "Come on, guys, he wasn't doing this out of the goodness of his heart." Zhao Yan let out a wicked laugh, thinking to himself, "Cut. Anyone can pretend. After all, it's not my money, so I don't feel sorry." The charity banquet was buzzing with whispers, friends. Everywhere you looked, the elite were gossiping about the mysterious benefactor. People were scratching their heads, asking, "Who exactly is this Zhao Yan?" But of course, the rumors were already running wild. They whispered that Zhao Yan was the massive powerhouse behind Chendong's success. And even after Chendong practically begged for his involvement, he got rejected. Look, if only they knew the truth about who was actually in whose body right now. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan, comfortably chilling in Chendong's billionaire body, was living his absolute best life. A stunning woman next to him playfully called him dad, while our guy just posed for the cameras, thinking to himself that he really had to maintain this high-class image. On stage, the host's voice echoed through the hall, excitedly thanking Mr. Zhao for the biggest donation of the night, bringing hope to the children in the mountainous region. Listening to this, Lu Hai's mind was racing. He sat there, carefully analyzing the situation. He figured this Zhao Yan definitely had a terrifying background. Suddenly, partnering with Changhong Trading didn't seem like the smartest move anymore. Thankfully, he hadn't formally signed their contract yet. Seizing the perfect moment, Zhao Yan casually waved his hand. He nonchalantly mentioned to Lu Hai that 5% of their $6 billion project was just $30 million. He smoothly told him that it was just a small amount of money, and if he still wanted to partner with Changhong, he should just go ahead. Lu Hai immediately started sweating bullets. He stammered out a nervous laugh, insisting that they hadn't signed anything yet. He was completely convinced now, realizing that to someone like the legendary Mr. Zhao, money was just a meaningless number. That smile vanished real quick. Leaning in with a sharp, piercing glare, Zhao Yan laid down a heavy warning. He stated coldly that Mr. Zhao despises betrayal more than anything, and those who betray him never meet a good end. Lu Hai smirked, thinking he had completely decoded the hidden message. He eagerly agreed, realizing that Ming was about to dive into deep trouble. But guys, the irony? Zhao Yan was secretly laughing inside, thinking he was just putting on a dramatic show and wondering what on earth Lu Hai actually thought he understood. Suddenly, Lu Hai couldn't hold back anymore. He practically yelled out, asking if he was being looked down upon, boldly declaring that his company could easily handle that $30 million. He offered the massive $6 billion project directly to Hanjiang, promising to sign the contract tomorrow. And just like that, Zhao Yan sealed the deal. As they shook hands, Zhao Yan murmured, wondering if Changhong's elaborate signing ceremony preparations were just a massive waste. Internally, Zhao Yan was jumping for joy. He felt absolutely incredible knowing he just effortlessly earned back the $30 million he donated earlier. Looking a bit confused, Lu Hai asked what he meant by that. With a devious smirk, Zhao Yan explained his master plan. They couldn't just let Changhong's ceremony go to waste. Instead, they would keep this massive news a secret and hijack their originally planned signing event. Lu Hai's glasses glinted as the sheer ruthlessness of the plan hit him. He realized this wasn't just business. It was a deadly, calculated scheme. Noticing his hesitation, Zhao Yan narrowed his eyes sharply, questioning if the director had any issues with the arrangement. Without missing a beat, Lu Hai poured him a glass of wine, fully submitting to the plan. He concluded that Ming was nothing but a crafty fool, and long-term stability was way more valuable. Let Ming face the total consequences heading his way. Zhao Yan raised his glass with a victorious, charming smile, proposing a toast to their new, everlasting friendship. The glasses chimed together with a crisp ring, sealing their happy cooperation. Later on, a gorgeous woman fed Zhao Yan a snack, praising his undeniable capability for securing the project. She flirtatiously wondered aloud just how much more formidable the mysterious Mr. Zhao must be. Just then, an older gentleman approached. It was Chun Hailong, the main organizer of the charity event. He politely invited both him and the elusive Mr. Zhao to a private meal as a token of gratitude. But keeping his cool, Zhao Yan smoothly declined, stating that Mr. Zhao simply didn't like to be disturbed. Zhao Yan was living his luxurious life, while others started to murmur about Zhao Yan. Guys, I want to eat noodles like this too. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. In the next scene, an entire desk was flipped over with a massive, heavy thud. It was Ming, absolutely losing his mind. Standing amidst the chaos of his ruined office, he roared in pure frustration, calling Chanhan a scoundrel and vowing to never let him win. His brother-in-law, Zhou Ping, calmly stepped in. He casually suggested that Ming should just forget about being a simple director and aim straight for the chairman's seat at Chanhan. Ming gritted his teeth, admitting that while the idea was good, his crushed pride was a bitter pill to swallow. Zhou Ping leaned in and said, "The day after tomorrow, during the signing ceremony with Binhai International, I plan to invite Chen Han and people from Hanxiang Group to attend as spectators. At that time, you'll reveal your identity to sign a contract, fiercely embarrassing Chen Han." Sound great, doesn't it? Patting his shoulder confidently, Ming revealed his plot to invite the media to cover their grand comeback. He promised to wipe away all the humiliation, laughing mischievously as Zhou Ping assured Ming that everything was already perfectly arranged. Biting his lip so hard a crimson mark appeared, Ming glared into the shadows. He warned his rival to get ready to face absolute disgrace. "I'm telling you guys, this man's arrogance is going to cost him." Afterwards, the morning sun gleamed brightly over the towering Binhai Hotel. Inside, the floor of a luxurious suite was an absolute mess, scattered with discarded clothes, an empty wine bottle, and high heels. Laying under the covers with the stunning Secretary Xu Shui, Zhao Yan looked entirely too proud of himself. He mused internally about working hard on official matters by day and pushing through personal affairs by night. He just thanked his lucky stars that the real Chen Han was single, or else things would have gotten incredibly messy. Waking up beside her, Zhao Yan gently stroked her cheek. He whispered that it was time to get to work, but playfully she said that she still wanted a little more time. Staying perfectly in character, he smoothly instructed her to arrange a meeting with Zhao Ping. Wrapping her arms around him from behind, she praised his successful deal from the night before. But then, she asked the golden question. After planning to completely expose the traitor He Ming, was the great Mr. Zhao happy with all this? He stuttered briefly in surprise, nervously repeating Mr. Zhao's name. Making the goofiest expression ever, Zhao Yan completely lost his cool billionaire aura, happily confirming that Mr. Zhao was definitely over the moon. Meanwhile, back at Manhwa University, absolute chaos had erupted in the classroom. Students were practically jumping off their desks, screaming in disbelief that Zhao Yan had secretly donated 30 million. One guy even loudly announced that Zhao Yan was his new blood brother. Standing frozen amidst the cheering crowd, the real billionaire, Chun Han, currently trapped in Zhao Yan's poor student body, covered his face in utter despair. Sweating profusely, a dark aura of frustration consumed him. He panicked, realizing his own wealth had just been recklessly thrown away. He cursed silently, realizing this absolute menace had seriously messed with him. Trust me, getting your own bank account drained by the guy driving your body is a whole new level of pain. The campus was in an absolute uproar. Students huddled around their phones in pure disbelief. Someone yelled out, "Did you see that?" Zhao Yan asked the CEO of Hanjiang Group to donate 30 million to impoverished mountain areas at the charity gala. Another student pointed at his screen, completely stunned. 30 million. He didn't even mention it today. Meanwhile, Mr. Screaming Fanboy threw his arms back and shouted at the top of his lungs. Zhao Yan is amazing. He did such a big thing without any publicity. Zhao Yan, you're my idol. Look, I'm telling you guys, not everyone was thrilled. Deep down, the original Chun Han was shedding tears of absolute agony. He thought to himself, 30 million. I've never donated more than 5 million in one go. Zhao Yan, this guy. In the next scene, Professor Proud Vest stood at the front of the classroom, throwing his arms wide open in dramatic excitement. He addressed the man of the hour directly. Zhao Yan, my great student, after such a generous act, can you say a few words to everyone? Zhao Yan casually rested his chin on his hand, looking perfectly modest. He sighed smoothly and said, well, there's really nothing much to say. It's just that I was unlucky. No, it's what I should do. Just a small contribution within my means, nothing to mention. The professor was so moved, he practically fell backward, throwing his arms in the air. He shouted, how elegant. Did you all see it, students? Zhao Yan, with such noble character and kindness. The classroom erupted into thunderous applause. But guys, behind that humble face, Chun Dong thought, Zhao Yan, you shameless person. I've been in the club for so many years, and I've never encountered someone who keeps pulling off these slick moves. Meanwhile, Chun Yuro adjusted her glasses, her cheeks flushed with admiration. She thought to herself, Zhao Yan is so much more generous than my brother. My brother has only donated 5 million at most once, and it took a lot of persuasion from me. Suddenly, Mr. Bitter Poor's student panicked. He grabbed his classmate's arm and yelled in pure horror, seriously, is my little sister also starting to admire Zhao Yan? At this exact time, back in the corporate office, Zhao Yan, who was still occupying Chairman Shin Han's body, suddenly let out a violent series of sneezes. He grabbed a tissue and rubbed his nose, looking completely exhausted. He muttered in frustration, did some arrogant jerk curse me or something? Just then, his beautiful secretary, Shu Shui, walked up and leaned in close, her eyes sparkling playfully. She asked softly, Mr. Chun, did I make you feel chilly last night when I took the blanket? Zhao Yan immediately scoffed, replying, wrong. It's some beautiful lady who is thinking about me. Shu Shui puffed her cheeks into a cute pout and reached out, gently pinching his cheek. She complained, humph, I hate it when you say such nonsense in front of me. Zhao Yan threw his arms up dramatically, letting out a loud sigh. He exclaimed, oh my, can't you stop being jealous? Can't we have some positive energy? Shu Shui turned away, her face flushed red with embarrassment. She mumbled under her breath, speaking confidently, when you put on your pants. Men are such hypocrites. You didn't say that last night. Zhao Yan just sat back in his luxury office chair, looking at her back. Suddenly, a sharp ringing sound echoed through the room as the desk phone demanded his attention. Shu Shui leaned over the desk to pick up the receiver. She listened for a second before turning to him. All right, Mr. Chen has been waiting for a while. Zhao Yan stood up calmly and asked, hey, is Zhou Ping here? He then gave the order, let him in. Before she left, Shu Shui glanced back with a playful smile and said, Mr. Chun, the tea is ready. I'll leave first. He simply nodded and replied, okay. The door opened, and Zhou Ping stepped into the office. He looked slightly guarded, his hands buried in his jacket pockets as he asked, Mr. Chun, may I know why you've called for me? Zhao Yan gestured toward the chairs bathed in sunlight. He told him smoothly, please have a seat. I won't beat around the bush. I called you here to discuss Chang Hong's affairs. The 80% stake you hold in trust, do you want to make it your own? Zhou Ping immediately got defensive. He shot back, make it my own? Are you trying to sow discord between me and my brother-in-law? Dream on. But Zhao Yan remained perfectly calm, challenging him. Do I need to sow discord between you two? If he trusts you, why doesn't he give you even a small stake? Have you ever thought about what would happen to those shares if something were to happen to Himing? Zhou Ping scoffed, looking utterly unconvinced. He replied confidently, what else can happen? They'd go to my sister, and besides, there's my nephew. Zhao Yan just gave him a sinister, knowing smile. He leaned forward and asked, if Himing is out of the picture, can't you win over your sister? A dark shadow fell over Zhou Ping's face as the true weight of those words finally clicked in his mind. He whispered softly, it does seem that way. Zhou Ping stared at him, desperately needing reassurance. He asked, why are you helping me? Why should I trust you? Zhao Yan sat back, exuding complete authority. He told him bluntly, I'm not helping you, I just dislike traitors. Besides, do you want to be his dog forever? The tension in the room was palpable. Zhou Ping clenched his fist hard on the table and muttered with deep resentment. Over the years, I've been with my brother-in-law. But Himing? After a brief, heavy silence, Zhou Ping grabbed a cup of tea. His eyes were completely hardened with fresh resolve. He agreed, all right, I promise you, I'll do it. Zhao Yan handed him the cup and smiled, replying, great. Happy future cooperation, Zhou Ping. With a sharp clink, the two men tapped their teacups together, sealing their dark and treacherous alliance. Afterwards, the office returned to a quiet, serene state, bathed in the warm afternoon sunlight. Everything seemed perfectly fine. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. A small, strange glint flashed from behind a potted plant in the corner of the room. The camera zoomed in past the green leaves, revealing a hidden camera lens staring directly at the spot where the two men had just sat. Zhao Yan sat alone in his chair, folding his hands together with an incredibly wicked smirk. He thought to himself, Zhou Ping, Zhou Ping, did you ever think that I recorded everything that just happened? You can't escape from the palm of my hand now. Suddenly, the office doors burst open. Xu Shui ran in, completely frantic and out of breath. She yelled, Director Chen, we have a problem. The footage of us entering the hotel together last night has been captured and posted online. Come on, guys, look at his reaction. Zhao Yan simply leaned back, casually stretching his arm. He replied coolly, oh, and what's the big deal? After work, I generously treated my female colleague to a hotel room to discuss business. I put my heart and soul into the company. Is there a problem with that? Xu Shui forced an incredibly awkward, sweaty smile. She stammered nervously, warning him, Director Chen, this excuse might not fly. Will your wife believe it? The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. That confident smile vanished real quick. Zhao Yan broke into a cold sweat, aggressively grabbing his hair in pure panic. He shouted in terror, wife? Whose wife are you talking about? Suddenly, Xu Shui leaned in, her face flushed with panic as she shouted, of course, it's your wife. Zhao Yan, utterly bewildered, leaned back and yelled, what? My wife. Panic immediately set in. He grabbed his hair, his eyes wide with pure shock. He thought to himself, nonsense. Chen Han is already married. Why don't I have any memory of this? He quickly concluded he probably kept it a secret when he signed the agreement. But then, a sudden realization hit him. His eyes narrowed sharply as a smirk crept onto his face. He muttered, wait, why should I care? This is Chen Han's life, I couldn't care less. Relaxing into his leather chair, he casually sipped his tea, completely ignoring the tension in the room. He looked at his terrified secretary and said calmly, Xu Shui, don't worry, it's just a small matter. Grabbing a cassette player, he continued to justify his sheer lack of responsibility. Damn, it's not even my life. I couldn't care less. Let's go. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here, but not him. He threw on his headphones, bobbing his head to the music with a massive grin. He proudly declared, heaven belongs to God, hell belongs to Satan, enjoyment belongs to Zhao Yan, and pain belongs to Chen Han. What relief. He started dancing wildly right in the middle of the office, completely carefree. Meanwhile, Xu Shui broke into tears behind him. She just reassured him, don't worry, Chairman Chen. I'm sure your wife won't hold it against you. He smiled and said to Xu Shui, I've already recommended you to Mr. Zhao. Just wait a few days, and you'll go to him and follow his orders. Just then, his phone buzzed on the table. The caller ID flashed with one terrifying word, wife. A soft sliding sound echoed as the device vibrated. That smile vanished real quick. Zhao Yan dropped the phones, fumbling backwards as if they were on fire. He screamed, don't panic, don't panic, don't panic. After a deep breath, he finally picked up the call, his voice trembling slightly as he answered, hello, what's up? The response on the other end was explosive. The woman shrieked, what's up? Chun, do you have the audacity to ask me? No wonder you keep sending me away from time to time. Tell me, how many women do you have? He completely lost his nerve. Desperate to escape, he shouted back, is that it? If that's it, I'll hang up. I'm in a meeting. If it's not, wait a few days and we can talk in person. Without waiting for a response, he ended the call with a heavy thud. Wiping the cold sweat from his forehead, he let out a long sigh. My goodness, Chen Han has turned out to be a severe, henpecked husband. Women are truly troublesome. Behind him, Xu Shui glared with sheer annoyance. Meanwhile, somewhere else, the real Chen Han, now trapped inside Zhao Yan's body, shivered violently as he walked down a brightly lit university hallway. He hugged his arms, confused, muttering, "Strange, why does it feel so cold? Has the weather turned colder? Trust me, guys, if only he knew what was happening to his marriage right now." Later that night, the scene shifted to the luxurious, warmly lit exterior of Chun Han's grand mansion. Inside, Zhao Yan, still acting as the chairman, sat casually on the sofa. He looked over at Chun Yuro and she asked, "Hey, can you tell me more about Zhao Yan?" He crossed his arms, clearly suspicious. "As soon as I'm back, you're asking about Zhao Yan? You won't." She sat beside him. He said, "Hee, there's more to it, my dear sister." She blushed and replied, "Brother, what are you thinking? I would never be interested in a kid. I just want to learn more about my student." Pushing the topic, she demanded, "Are you going to tell me or not?" Zhao Yan sighed and began telling his so-called virtues, mentioning his well-rounded education. But then she smirked. He's a rare individual. His favorite pastime is researching adult films. She wasn't done yet, leaning in with a playful smile. He also studies art, especially black silk. Zhao Yan's face turned bright red. He confidently stated, "That's it. In short, he's the only one for my sister in the future." Flustered, she quickly shut him down. "Stop. You're up to no good, trying to gain favors from Zhao Yan through your sister." In the next scene, things took a serious turn. Standing in a massive, empty walk-in closet, she confronted him. "Let's not talk about this. What about your wife? Why are all her clothes and belongings gone from the room? Bro, are you playing dumb with me? You had a fight with your wife today." She got so angry that she went back to her parents' house. The absolute terror returned to Zhao Yan's face. He clutched his head in disbelief, sweating bullets. "Damn, I thought she was sent on another vacation. Turns out, she left in anger." Mr. Concerned Bro simply patted his shoulder. "It might be a pleasant surprise when she returns. Good luck, big bro." The next morning, it was back to business. Zhao Yan answered his phone, and a staff member reported, "Chairman Chun, we've received an invitation from Changhong for their signing ceremony tomorrow. What do you think?" A sly, dangerous gleam flashed in his eyes. He smirked coldly, already plotting his next move. "Since they want to show off, we might as well go and support them. It's a good deed." The next day, reporters and elite guests packed into the grand hall for the highly anticipated Binhai Enterprise signing ceremony. Sitting quietly in the audience, Miss Emerald Dress leaned over to Zhao Yan, whispering, "Chairman Chun, why are we attending Changhong's event?" Resting his chin on his hand with a relaxed smile, he simply replied, "Because there's going to be a good show soon." Nearby, two older businessmen gossiped among themselves. Mr. Gray Suit Gossiper adjusted his glasses, muttering, "Chairman Chin from Hanjiang is also here. Why did Changhong invite people from Hanjiang? That's so tasteless." Mr. Green Suit Gossiper agreed. "Are they asking for humiliation?" Suddenly, the elegant host on stage grabbed the microphone, gesturing gracefully toward the back. "Next, let's welcome Mr. He, the chairman of Changhong Trading, to speak." He Ming strutted up to the stage, radiating absolute arrogance. Gripping the mic, he flashed a massive, victorious smile and announced, "First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to attend Changhong's event." The press instantly locked their cameras onto him, murmuring in confusion, "Isn't that Mr. He from Hanjiang? It seems like they're going to be in big trouble." "Yeah, how come you're the chairman of Changhong Trading?" Soaking in the drama, He Ming looked directly into the crowd with a sinister glare. "Especially our respected Chairman Chun of Hanjiang," he thought to himself, relishing the moment. "Chen Han, I can't wait to see you embarrassed." But when He Ming looked down, Zhao Yan wasn't sweating at all. In fact, he casually extended his hand, flashing a confident, mocking smile. "Come on, start your performance." He Ming gritted his teeth, thinking, why is this guy not worried at all? He even looks a bit confident. Trying to regain control, He Ming addressed the confused crowd. "Maybe someone is curious about why I, as Hanjiang's vice chairman, have become Changhong's chairman after all? I'll explain the details after the signing. Let's first invite Mr. Liu, the chairman of Binhai International." Chairman Liu Hai enthusiastically took the mic, beaming with excitement. "Hello everyone. I'm very pleased to welcome you all to today's event." But what happened next completely shattered He Ming's reality. Liu Hai continued, "For being able to collaborate with Mr. Chun Han's Hanjiang group, I am deeply honored." He Ming's face drained of color. Panic hijacked his nervous system. He frantically leaned in, stuttering desperately into Liu's ear. "Chairman Liu, it's Changhong, not Hanjiang." Liu adjusted his tie and started speaking again. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Instead of correcting himself, Liu Hai stepped back, leaned entirely backward, and screamed into the microphone with every ounce of air in his lungs. "Let me say it again. Our Binhai International has chosen to sign a cooperation agreement with Hanjiang." His voice echoed like a thunderous explosion, booming across the entire hall, completely sealing He Ming's doom. Look at his face, guys. The exact second he knew he messed up, He Ming stood frozen, his eyes bulging out of his skull, snot literally dripping from his nose in pure shock. Whispers erupted across the room. Who would have thought that Hanjiang is the star of tonight? So, it was all orchestrated by Mr. Zhao Yan. Once again, Mr. Zhao Yan lends his divine assistance. I think he just pooped in his pants. And back in the audience, Zhao Yan was absolutely losing his mind with laughter, slamming his hand on the table while Miss Emerald Dress giggled beside him. Haha, don't look at me like that. It's all thanks to Mr. Zhao's guidance. I never expected this. The room erupted into chaos. Chen Han slammed his fist on the desk, laughing uncontrollably as he wiped a tear from his eye. He gasped between laughs. This is way too outrageous. I mean, it is absolutely hilarious. His companion smiled warmly and added, Binhai International, such a massive company, changing their stance at the last moment? Director Chin's move to pull the rug out from under them is nothing short of brilliant. Meanwhile, He Ming was completely losing it. He pointed an angry finger, sweat pouring down his panicked face, and yelled, Chairman Liu, if you change your stance now, can you still have any credibility? But Liu Hai just smiled calmly, holding his microphone. He replied smoothly, Chairman we only had a verbal agreement. I have absolutely no reason to refuse Hanjiang's cooperation, which is worth billions. Liu with the action pose announced. Now, let's welcome tonight's main character, Chairman Chun. Suddenly, Chun Han practically moonwalked onto the stage, full of infectious energy. He spun around, grabbed the microphone, and shouted, Ladies and gentlemen, hello. He turned to look directly at the sweating He Ming, a mocking grin on his face. Many thanks to Chairman He for sponsoring the venue tonight, Chun Han announced to the crowd. Truly, he is a backbone elder of the Hanjiang group. Look, I'm telling you guys, the level of disrespect here is just chef's kiss. Chen Han threw his arms wide open, striking a dramatic pose as he continued his performance. My respect for Chairman, he is like a flowing river, never-ending, he declared loudly. Especially his use of his position to transfer company assets multiple times. That move is simply exemplary. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. The crowd was completely stunned. The representative from Chadian Investments gasped. My goodness, this is a groundbreaking revelation. Nearby, the man from Chindu Technology was already on his phone, commanding, Hey, tell the business department to start pursuing more cooperation with Hanjiang from today onwards. He muttered to himself. Chairman Chun has suddenly become so formidable. Even old foxes like He Ming are being played. He Ming's face turned completely red with rage. He lunged forward aggressively, shouting, You are slandering me with baseless accusations. Do you have any evidence? Just then a loud, confident voice echoed through the venue. I can testify. The entire room froze. The spectators' eyes went wide with absolute shock, completely speechless at the sudden interruption. Then, Zhou Ping strolled into the room, flanked by imposing men in black suits. He looked straight at He Ming and said coldly, Brother-in-law, stop pretending. I have already reported all your evidence to the relevant authorities. At this time, the undercover police stepped forward. One officer held up his badge, his expression stern, and announced, He Ming, you are suspected of multiple white-collar crimes. Please cooperate with our investigation. He Ming was physically lifted into the air by the officers, kicking and screaming in pure desperation. He yelled at Zhou Ping, You scoundrel, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Without me, could a lowly farmer like you have reached this point? You betrayed me first. Zhou Ping smirked, thoroughly enjoying the moment. He smoothly replied, I might be lowly, but everything I did was for your own good. Reflect and reform in prison, and try to make a new start. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan in Chun Han's body grabbed a microphone, shouting with absolute admiration, Master Zhao, you are truly skilled. Whispers erupted across the hall. Master Zhao, it is him again, someone exclaimed. Another added in awe, since Hanjiang has him. They have become even more powerful. Chun Han pointed a finger to the sky, striking a triumphant pose. He laughed out loud. Hee, it seems this act is quite effective. I am covering all the expenses for tonight's banquet. Enjoy, everyone. I will take my leave now. His beautiful companion giggled as the crowd cheered. In the next scene, we transition to the towering headquarters of the Hanjiang Group, standing tall against the city skyline. Inside the office, Zhao Yan, still occupying Chun Han's body, sat confidently behind the grand desk. He gave a sharp, playful two-finger salute, looking like a total boss. Zhou Ping sat across from him, leaning forward slightly. He asked, Chairman Chun, our cooperation is over. What exactly do you want to discuss with me? Zhao Yan leaned back, a mysterious glint in his eye, and replied, Over? No, it is just beginning. Zhao Yan casually slid a tablet across the desk. Come, take a look at this, he offered calmly. Zhou Ping grabbed the tablet, and his eyes widened. It was a secret recording of their previous conversation. The video played Zhou Ping's own voice saying, You are right, as long as I show this to the police, He Ming is finished. Then I will handle my sister. Zhou Ping started sweating profusely. He stuttered in disbelief. What is this? Panic set in completely. Zhou Ping glared aggressively at Zhao Yan, demanding, What do you mean by this? Now honestly, anyone would panic here. Zhao Yan just smiled, completely unbothered. What I mean, Zhou Ping, do you really think your sister will let you be the chairman of Changhong Trading if she sees this video? I think you will go from being Chairman Zhou to being just Mr. Zhou. From now on, you will probably have to rely on stealing electric bikes just to get by. Zhou Ping thought, I am afraid my situation might be worse than what Chen Han described. Zhou Ping clenched his fists, completely trapped. He asked bitterly, "What do you want?" Zhao Yan rested his chin on his hands. "What do I want? Of course, I want you to hand over Changhong's shares." Zhao Yan leaned closer, his smirk deepening. "But it is not me who wants the shares. It is Master Zhao who wants them. Of course, you will get some money out of it. So, do you want to give them over or not? Opportunities like this are fleeting, Zhou Ping. Take a gamble. You might just upgrade from a bicycle to a motorcycle." Zhou Ping was visibly shaking, sweat trailing down his face. He thought to himself, these dishonest businessmen. One is worse than the other. This ship is sinking fast. Go back to farming? No, I absolutely cannot go back. But the big city's tricks run so incredibly deep. After this intense, internal struggle, he finally snapped. "Fine, I will give it." Zhou Ping conceded, his voice trembling slightly. "How do you want me to proceed?" Zhao Yan smoothly slid a thick contract across the desk. "Have your sister sign on this. I believe you can manage that much." But Zhou Ping slammed his hand on the desk, refusing. "No, I need to see the money first. You city folks are way too tricky." With a soft sliding sound, a sleek plastic card landed right on top of the contract. Zhao Yan stated calmly, "It is 10 million, all in cash. The password is the last 6 digits of the card number." Zhou Ping picked up the card, eyeing it suspiciously. He asked, "Are you not afraid I will just take the money and run?" Zhao Yan's expression instantly darkened, casting a shadow over his face. He warned in a low, dangerous tone, "I have said it before. I do not want Changhong. It is Master Zhao who wants it. You can go ahead and inquire about what happens to people who take his money and do not deliver." Zhou Ping gulped, quickly grabbing his bag to leave. As he walked toward the door, Zhao Yan added smoothly, "All right, get the job done well, and Master Zhao might even meet you in person. That would be a golden opportunity for you. Come on, guys." Zhao Yan is literally hyping himself up in someone else's body. In the final scene, Zhao Yan stood by the massive office windows, bathed in golden sunlight. He looked out over the city, a victorious smile playing on his lips. Changhong Trading, a multi-billion-dollar company, is finally within reach, he whispered to himself. Hee. Life is truly full of exciting exchanges. It was the 6th day of a life exchange, guys. A luxurious black car pulled up smoothly in front of a towering corporate skyscraper, bathed in the morning sunlight. Zhao Yan, still confidently walking around in Chun Han's billionaire body, strolled forward. His gorgeous secretary, Xu Shui, hurried beside him. She smiled brightly and said, "Chairman Chun, you're truly amazing." "How did you convince Zhou Ping?" He replied, "It's all thanks to Master Zhao's guidance. For him, this little matter is nothing." Stopping in his tracks, he pointed a finger and playfully declared, "Starting today, you belong to Master Zhao. You will be in charge of Changhong. You better work hard. No slacking off with 996, okay? Don't find it too tough." Xu Shui blushed deeply, her cheeks burning red. She shyly replied, "Don't worry, Chairman Chun, I couldn't wait. Master Zhao is so impressive and Chairman Chun values him so much." Then, guys, she leaned in slightly and whispered with a teasing smile, "Don't mention 996, even 69. Look, guys, Zhao Yan is definitely enjoying these billionaire perks." Meanwhile, inside the Changhong meeting room, tension filled the air as a sudden announcement rang out. "Chairman, he has run into trouble." A group of anxious executives sat around a massive, oval table. One of them scoffed, "That Zhou Ping from the countryside. You must know his level, right?" General Manager Xiao Yang leaned back in his chair with a smug smile. He confidently stated, "So, the future of Changhong is in the hands of this general manager." But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. With a heavy thud, the boardroom doors swung open. Chun Han, followed closely by Xu Shui, effortlessly pushed past a struggling security guard. The panicked guard stammered to Xiao Yang, "Mr. Xia, we couldn't stop them." Xiao Yang stood up, clearly annoyed. He frowned and asked, "Chairman Chun, why did you come without notice? Lately, there have been many changes in the company, and I've been quite busy. Today is really not convenient." A confident smirk crept across Chun Han's face as he leaned in. He replied, "Rest assured, you won't be as busy from today onwards." With a sharp snap of his fingers, he called out Secretary Xu. Xu Shui quickly stepped forward, handing him a crisp stack of official documents. Holding the papers high, Chun Han declared, "I have here a share transfer agreement. Ms. Ma has officially transferred her Changhong shares to Mr. Zhao Yan. Mr. Zhao has entrusted me to represent him fully." Xiao Yang began to sweat profusely. A junior executive rapidly typing on his laptop shouted, "The shares have already been transferred. Doesn't that mean we have a new boss? This guy named Zhao Yan is quite something. How did he manage it?" Chun Han calmly straightened his tie and said, "You can leave now. Starting today, Ms. Xu Shui is the new chairwoman and general manager of Changhong." He clapped his hands loudly, the sound echoing through the room. "Everyone, let's welcome her." Xu Shui stepped into the light, radiating confidence and charm. She waved and said, "Hello, everyone." Chun Han turned to her with a serious look. "All right, I'm leaving Changhong to you. Do your best. I'll bring in a batch of elite professionals from Hanjiang to assist you in a few days. Master Zhao will meet with you. Don't make me lose face. She nodded respectfully, her cheeks still slightly flushed. Yes, Chairman Chun. Suddenly, a sharp ringing sound came from Chun Han's pocket. He pulled out his phone and pressed it to his ear. A cold voice on the other end demanded, "Hey, I'll be arriving tomorrow. Don't think I won't give you a chance to explain. When I get off the plane, I want to see you apologizing to me." Chun Han let out a dark chuckle. He scoffed. Apologize? Explain? What a joke. Throughout my life, I, Chun Han, have never needed to explain myself to anyone. I'm hanging up. Inside his own mind, Zhao Yan flashed a wicked grin. He thought, "Brother, I've helped you regain some power and authority as a husband. Whether you can turn things around and sing your song next is up to you." And just like that, the life exchange ended. A brilliant flash of light filled the air, and Zhao Yan found himself standing on a balcony, staring down at a massive, futuristic mall. He stretched his arms and said, "I am back. I feel a bit uneasy. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet." The real Chun Han stomped toward him, his face twisted in pure rage. He growled, "Zhao Yan, you jerk." Zhao Yan turned around, waving his hand with a perfectly innocent smile. "Hey, Chairman Chun, long time no see." Chun Han glared at him, absolutely furious. "Long time no see, my foot. This time I was too hasty. I've never met someone as shameless as you before. Your pretending skills are really cunning and polished." Zhao Yan casually scratched the back of his head, acting completely unfazed. "Well, I appreciate the compliment. I used to work during my summer break, and back then, I was specifically in charge of even the factory manager praised me for my acting skills." Chun Han completely lost his temper, his face turning red. He shouted, "Get lost. I've never seen such an audacious person." In the next scene, Zhao Yan shamelessly threw an arm around Chun Han's shoulder. He smoothly changed the subject, asking, "Chun Han, don't be so hot-tempered. Why don't you tell me about the club situation? For example, how many members do you have in total?" Chun Han aggressively shoved him away with a sharp hiss. He warned, "Stay away from me." Brushing off his suit, Chun Han marched toward the stairs. "I'm going to the second floor to check my points in the mall. You don't need to bother. You have nothing." Zhao Yan immediately followed close behind, completely ignoring the hostility. "Mall? I want to see it for myself." They entered a massive room filled with glowing holographic screens floating in midair. Zhao Yan gasped, "Wow, a treasure trove." His eyes sparkled as he stared at the glowing displays. "Wow, this equipment is incredible." Chun Han stood in front of a glowing blue screen, a smug, arrogant smile returning to his face. "You're amazed, right? There are plenty of treasures here, but unfortunately, you have no connection to them. You're a newcomer. You can't even earn a single point. So just stare." A blue screen shows Chun Han's score. He thought, "Wow, a 5-point gain, the highest in 4 years. That's awesome." Now his total balance is 9 points. Zhao Yan curiously stepped closer. "Let me check too. Can you check any random screen?" Chun Han sighed deeply, rolling his eyes. "You can check any screen, but what's the point? It's just a waste of time." Reaching out toward a panel, Zhao Yan playfully replied, "Well, you never know. There might be a pleasant surprise." Chun Han scoffed loudly. "A surprise? You're dreaming." Suddenly, Zhao Yan froze. His bright blue eyes widened as the screen illuminated. He muttered, "Huh? Look at his face." Chun Han's jaw literally dropped to the floor, his eyes bugging out of his skull in pure shock. He screamed, "Aren't you a newbie? Wow, how is this even possible?" Chun Han screamed in absolute disbelief. "You? How the heck did you do it?" The holographic screen floated behind Zhao Yan, proudly displaying a massive total balance of 10 points. Mr. Jealous Kicker gritted his teeth, his eyes glowing red with intense envy. He yelled, "You're just a newcomer, an ordinary university student. I had to put in tremendous effort to earn a single point." Zhao Yan just smirked, pointing casually at his holographic screen. "I don't even know," he replied. "I just messed around. Are these your life challenges? But can these even be considered challenges? Isn't this just child's play?" He struck a cocky pose, crossing his arms and standing tall. The sheer arrogance radiating from him was completely off the charts. "Look, guys, he's totally milking this moment for all it's worth." Chun Han stared up at him in total awe, asking if he was some kind of genius. Zhao Yan threw his head back and laughed proudly. "I'm just so cool. Ha ha ha." Suddenly, a chubby man with a buzz cut stepped in to defend him. "It's just 10 points, he argued, waving his hand. "Why are you making such a fuss? Have a little dignity. What's wrong with newbies?" But then, the buzz-cut defender actually looked closely at Zhao Yan's perfect score. His jaw dropped, and a cold sweat broke out all over his face. He stuttered, "What? Newbie?" He completely changed his tune on the spot, throwing his hands up in defeat. "Damn, this newbie is incredible," he exclaimed. Zhao Yan just smiled down at him like a proud king. The rest of the crowd was in total shambles. A man with a tie whispered, "I remember him. He just arrived last week." Meanwhile, a distraught teacher clutched her head, crying, "I've embarrassed myself in front of my students. I'm dropping out." Surrounding him, the crowd showered him with endless praise. "You're amazing," one girl cheered, while another guy declared, "You're the strongest newbie I've ever known." Zhao Yan played it cool, humbly rubbing the back of his neck. "You guys are too kind. This is just my basic skill," he said. "I didn't realize these challenges were so hard." I solve them effortlessly. Meanwhile, the jealous Chun Han fumed silently in the background. Zhao Yan dramatically looked up at the ceiling, sighing, I wanted to stay low-key, but outstanding people are like a bright moon in the dark night. Even in the darkness, it can't conceal their brilliance. The jealous man tightly clenched his fists, thinking, it's annoying. And guys, that was the absolute breaking point. With a fierce shout, the jealous Chun Han leaped into the air and delivered a swift, heavy kick right to Zhao Yan's back, yelling, you scoundrel! Zhao Yan tumbled forward onto the ground, groaning. I knew you ordinary people wouldn't understand the pain of geniuses, he muttered. Chun Han just glared down at him, thinking, this damn show-off, why is he so good at it? Chun Han turned his back and walked away in frustration, raising a finger in the air. Zhao Yan reached out desperately from the floor, calling out, hey, don't go. I wanted to ask what you can buy with 10 points. Just then, a sweet voice interrupted. You can buy quite a lot. Zhao Yan looked up to see manager Su, stunning as ever in a blue crop top and a short skirt. He immediately asked, Manager Su, why are you here? She smiled warmly at him. I heard there's a very talented newcomer, so I came to see, she explained softly. I didn't expect it to be you. Is there anything I can help with? Zhao Yan stood up, dusting himself off. I'd like to further understand the club, if it's not too much trouble, he requested politely. Su gracefully gestured for him to follow. It's no trouble. Come with me for a tour while I introduce you, she offered. After you've learned everything, you can decide what to buy. As they stood before the massive glass elevator, Su explained the layout. The club. The first floor is the exchange hall. The second floor is the points mall. The third floor is the dining area. The fourth floor is the entertainment and leisure area, and the fifth floor is the accommodation area. She pointed upward. The sixth and seventh floors are the staff area. Members can't go there. In the next scene, they strolled through the glowing blue aisles of the second floor. You can purchase and rent items from the points mall, she told him, elegantly gesturing to the shelves. If you can't find a specific item, you can inform the second floor staff. They will help you locate it. Afterwards, they relaxed together in the lounge area. Su crossed her legs, asking, we have finished exploring the fifth floor. Any more questions? Suddenly, a thirsty guy in a tan sweater lunged forward from behind the couch, complaining, Manager Su, this is quite unfair. There are staff members for these, so why are you personally attending to him? Su leaned on her hand, a teasing, confident smile on her lips. Ugh, girls admire strength. Should I say it directly? She mused. The guy struck a bold pose, shouting back, but I'm handsome. Su bluntly replied, but I'm not into looks. Ignoring the brutal rejection happening right behind him, Zhao Yan took a calm sip of his drink and asked one last question. How many members does the club have? Su turned her gaze back to him. I'm not sure. People come and go all the time, she answered mysteriously. Choose your items carefully. Don't become the one who goes. Back at the glowing terminal, Zhao Yan carefully swiped through the holographic catalog. He thought to himself, now that I have Changhong trading and money, then let's get an item that can strengthen my body. With a dramatic flash of golden lightning, a small glowing vial materialized inside the delivery pod. A system notification chimed, deducting 5 points. Product delivery status. Basic body strengthening agent. Payment successful. Zhao Yan observed it closely, thinking, at least I can withstand Big Bro's outburst next time. This time he got quite mad, and I don't know how he's doing. Meanwhile, back in the real world, the actual Chun Han was sitting comfortably on his luxurious sofa, holding his phone with a fond smile. It's been a week, he said softly. I can finally contact my wife after such a long time. She should have cooled down by now. But guys, this is where the story gets really interesting. Chun Han tapped his screen, and his smile completely froze. A system message popped up, showing an empty chat. He gasped, darn it, my wife's number is gone. A cold sweat instantly dripped down his face as a terrifying thought hit him. Could it be that Zhao Yan did something? The image of Zhao Yan's sinister, mocking grin flashed vividly in his mind. Panicking slightly, Chun Han quickly dialed her number entirely from memory. He pressed the phone to his ear, his cheeks flushed with nervous relief. Hey, wife, he greeted with a very shaky smile. He thought, luckily, I remember my wife's number. But the response he got was absolute dynamite. His wife's furious voice roared through the speaker. Chun Han, didn't you block me? Weren't you quite brave? Why are you calling me now? Just wait for me. I'll be home tomorrow. I'll find you and that adulterous pair to settle the score. With a sharp beep, the call disconnected. Chun Han's soul practically left his body right then and there. His face stretched into a look of absolute, unadulterated horror as the dead dial tone echoed endlessly in his ear. The terrifying realization hit him like a freight train. He trembled, thinking the number was definitely blocked by that jerk Zhao Yan. What an annoying guy. Frantically, Chun Han tried calling her back, waving his free hand in a desperate, sweaty panic. Wife, let me explain. It's a misunderstanding. All just misunderstandings, he pleaded to the ringing phone. But his wife's previous angry words just kept ringing in his head. A misunderstanding, my foot. Too late now. You're not so fearless anymore. Huh? It's too late. Weren't you being all cocky, saying, Chun Han, never need to explain to anyone. What's your explanation now? You're done for. Another final beep signaled that she ignored his call. Chen stood there in the quiet room, utterly defeated. He slowly slapped a hand over his face, a dark shadow of total misery falling over him. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face, guys. In the final scene, an ominous thunderstorm raged fiercely outside his massive luxury villa. Lightning violently crashed across the dark sky as Chunhan's furious roar echoed loudly into the night. Ah, you scoundrel Zhao Yan. I'll never let you off. Meanwhile, Chun Yuro burst through the door, looking completely exhausted. She asked, Bro, why are you yelling in the middle of the night? Chunhan grabbed her from the shoulders and asked, Yuro, tell me quickly, have I done anything to make your sister-in-law angry these days? She replied no. He wiped the sweat from his forehead, breathing a heavy sigh as he muttered, Phew, that's a relief. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. A dark aura surrounded Yuro as she smiled eerily, telling him, but what you've done might get you ended by her. Panicking, he stuttered, asking what he had done and begging her to tell him. Yuro leaned in, her eyes glowing menacingly. She reminded him about the photos of him and his female secretary checking into a hotel that were posted online, pointing out that his wife must have seen them. She added, When I reminded you about a couple of days ago, you were calm, weren't you? The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. His eyes widened in sheer terror as he realized the gravity of the situation. He thought to himself, I'm in deep trouble now. Yuro looked at him with mock concern, noting how pale he looked. She teased, Should we go to the psychiatric hospital? They might be able to help. Completely defeated, he replied, No need. Just take me to the morgue. He buried his face in his hand, completely stressed out. Yuro, laughing uncontrollably, asked what any of this had to do with Zhao Yan. He loudly declared, He's just a scumbag, the biggest scumbag in the universe. Whoever teams up with him is doomed for 8 lifetimes. Then, giving him a sly wink, she reminded him of his own words. She said, Bro, you said something else earlier. You told me to pursue him, saying he was the only brother-in-law you recognized. Guys, I want this kind of pretty girl too. That smile vanished real quick. Driven to absolute madness, he clenched his fist and screamed, My sword. Where's my sword? I may not survive, but I'll drag him down with me. Zhao Yan, you beast. Yuro pointed a finger at him, questioning how he could be so cold-hearted when he relied on Zhao Yan for everything he had today. Furious, he leaned back and yelled, What? I've achieved everything through hard work. No, diligent effort. I have nothing to do with Zhao Yan. With a light thud, she playfully elbowed him in the ribs, laughing as she told him to cut out. She revealed, I saw you calling him young master at school. As the camera zoomed out from the massive mansion into the night, his frustrated scream echoed loudly. Ah, this is so unfair. In the next scene, we see Zhao Yan riding an escalator inside a massive, brightly lit building. He thought to himself, using a beginner's enhancement drug here is definitely not safe. A holographic interface popped up in front of him, signaling a transmission in progress. He decided, I should probably leave a life exchange club and try this somewhere else. Suddenly, a brilliant blue light engulfed him, and his body began to dissolve into digital data as he teleported away. With a sharp hiss and a thunderous crackle, a surge of green and blue lightning ripped through the air. He landed dramatically in a grassy park, a shockwave of digital energy and flames erupting around him as he stabilized his stance. Standing up and brushing himself off, he looked around in confusion, wondering how he ended up on campus when he entered from his classroom. He pondered if this was where Chunhan logged out. Right behind him, a guy making out with his girlfriend on a bench screaming. The couple stared at him, flushed red and completely dumbfounded. The guy shouted, asking when we got there, but Zhao Yan just casually waved his hand, telling them, Don't mind me, I'm just an innocent bystander. Carry on. The guy pointed angrily, totally outraged. He muttered, You. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan just rubbed his ear, completely unfazed by the awkwardness. Suddenly, Zhao Yan heard something that caught his attention. Multiple guys started running. They shouted, Damn, Zhao Yan, Chun Yuro's class with teacher Zhang is starting, and you're here peeping? You're unbelievable, another shouted. Don't waste time on him. Run, or we're in big trouble. Looking down at his phone as they ran, he realized the situation. He noted, It does seem like Chun Yuro is substituting for teacher Zhang tonight. But as he looked at the time, panic set in. He thought, but it's too late to get there now. Meanwhile, outside the classroom, his 3 roommates, Zhang Yuan, Lu Chong, and Chun Mao, were bent over, panting heavily as if they had just run a marathon. Standing firmly in front of them was none other than the Ice Queen herself, Chun Yuro. She leaned against the wall with her arms crossed, her expression stern and intimidating. Looking down at the exhausted trio, she demanded, Why just the 3 of you? Where's Zhao Yan? Zhang Yuan, sweating bullets and smiling nervously, threw his best friend right under the bus. He claimed, Zhao Yan is peeking at others doing stuff in the woods. In his head, he frantically apologized. Sorry, Zhao Yan, we had no choice but to let you take the fall. We apologize. Look, I'm telling you guys, true friendship dies the moment the hot teacher shows up. Yuro's eyes narrowed dangerously behind her glasses. She immediately shot back. Nonsense. There's no way Zhao Yan would do something like peeping. You, stand in the corner for one class. The guys were completely stunned into silence. One of them whispered in disbelief, wondering why Yuro was defending Zhao Yan so much. He muttered, "Did the sun rise from the west today?" Taking an intimidating step forward, her sharp heels clicked loudly against the floor. She glared at the other two and interrogated, "So, why were you all late?" Sweating nervously, the other two forced awkward smiles and simultaneously blurted out, "Overslept." A literal fiery aura of rage erupted around Yuro. She screamed, "You slept during the day? You must have been playing games all night. Stand up together." Just then, Zhao Yan came jogging down the hallway, looking completely carefree. He waved at his roommates, asking, "Hey, why aren't you going inside?" Zhang Yuan clenched his fist and gritted his teeth. He angrily replied, "You didn't see that we're being punished here? You're pretty carefree. You'll see how you'll suffer later. All four of us stand together as a punishment for being late." Yuro shifted her gaze to Zhao Yan, maintaining her strict posture. She asked, "Zhao Yan, why were you late?" Zhao Yan casually scratched the side of his head, giving a confident smirk. He replied, I overslept." In his mind, he figured, well, since it's a punishment, just make up some excuse. But guys, this is getting interesting. Instead of getting angry, a soft blush spread across Yuro's cheeks. She gently grabbed his wrist, smiling warmly as she said, "Probably stayed up late studying books last night. Remember to balance work and rest. Don't wear yourself out. Come inside." The three roommates literally froze. Their jaws dropped, and their eyes bulged out of their heads in absolute disbelief at the blatant favoritism. Guys, at this point, even I'm speechless. As Zhao Yan walked into the classroom, the whispers erupted. Students gossiped, shocked that the Ice Queen was acting so affectionate. They assumed it had to be Zhao Yan's god-level background that won her over. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan smirked, thinking to himself, hee, using the big brother status before was quite effective. Afterwards, Zhao Yan pulled out his phone. The screen lit up as he initiated a call to his secretary, Xu Shui. Holding the phone to his ear with a charming smile, he smoothly said, "Hey, Miss Xu, don't worry, I'll visit the new company tomorrow. I won't leave you waiting." He lowered the phone, a mischievous glint in his piercing blue eyes, knowing full well that the entire class was listening to his every word. Meanwhile, back at the university, Zhao Yan is completely ignoring the lesson, casually scrolling on his phone. A student in a blue hoodie suddenly points at him in outrage. He shouted, "Teacher, should we do something about Zhao Yan making phone calls during class?" But guys, Teacher Chinuro points back commandingly. She strictly stated, "Practice is the sole criterion for testing truth. We study management courses to apply them in our future work. Zhao Yan is applying what he learns. What's wrong with that?" The complaining student's face literally splits in two from sheer shock as he yells, "That works. Look, guys, even the background characters can't believe this blatant favoritism." After class, Zhao Yan moves in smooth, trapping Teacher Chun against the wall. He leans in close and says, "Teacher Chun, your words really resonate with me. I have some management-related questions. Can I ask you tonight if you're free?" Just then, his roommates peek around the doorframe, their jaws dropping. One of them gasps, realizing Zhao Yan is done pretending and is finally revealing the truth. They whisper that his seal has been lifted. Before, he cried in poverty, even for a pancake. From now on, he's on the peak of life. Teacher Chun Yuro blushes heavily, turning her face away from his intense gaze. She nervously replies, "Tonight might not work. My brother said he wants to talk." Zhao Yan just smirks and casually walks away with his hands in his pockets. He confidently tells her, "Don't worry, he'll be busy tonight. Too busy to even take time to talk to you tonight." Flustered, Teacher Chun adjusts her glasses, a pink tint still on her cheeks. She quickly clears her throat and announces, "Okay, let's continue with the class." She then notices the three roommates still spying from the doorway. "Zhang Yuan, the three of you come in too," she calls out. They enthusiastically agree, chiming, "Yes, Teacher Chun." Back at their desks, the guys immediately swarm Zhao Yan. Zhang Yuan excitedly asks, "Damn, bro Zhao, what's going on? Did you really conquer the Ice Queen?" Another friend sighs, "I envy you," as another demands to know what dirty tricks he used. But their gossip is cut short when Teacher Chun orders, "Don't whisper during class." In the next scene, the towering, glass-paned Hanjiang Group headquarters gleams under the bright city sky. Chun Han strides through the revolving doors, looking sharp in his tailored suit. He thinks to himself, "Zhao Yan, that flirt, won't cause trouble for my company, right?" He confidently waves to the reception staff, saying, "Hello, everyone." As they cheerfully welcome Chairman Chun back, he smiles to himself, relieved that it seems like nothing happened to the company at all. Afterwards, with a heavy thud, a knock echoes on his office door. Chun Han sits at his desk and commands, "Come in." The door swings open to reveal a voluptuous new secretary, Xiao Lu. Chun Han raises an eyebrow, asking, "Xiao Lu, why are you here?" Where's Secretary Xu? Call her over. He steeples his fingers, his expression darkening as he thinks back. He mutters to himself, Zhao Yan slept with Xu Shui. I fabricated a story with her in advance to deal with my wife. Xiao Lu nervously adjusts her glasses and drops a massive bombshell. Chairman Chun, Secretary Xu has left the company, taking a group of people with her. She left with your approval. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face, guys. Chen Han's eyes bulge out of his skull in pure panic. He shouts, what? Where did they go? Realizing in terror that this must be another one of Zhao Yan's tricks. Xiao Lu trembles, reminding him, they went to Changhong trading, right? Didn't Zhao ask you to help him take over Changhong? You arranged it yourself, and even had me take over Secretary Shu's position. Sweating bullets, Chen Han screams, who did she take with her? Standing in a massive, sunlit office, Xiao Lu nervously lists off the damages. She reveals that Manager Zhao's team in the sales department is gone, along with Manager Sun's team responsible for business, and even the research and development department. With a thunderous slam, Chen Han's fist hits the desk. Zhao Yan, you son of a turtle, he growls. He furiously yells that taking Xu Shui and freeloading off Changhong was one thing, but taking away so many talents means he needs to have some humanity. Xiao Lu panics completely, waving her arms in distress. Chairman Chun, have you and Mr. Zhao had a falling out? You must be careful. Without Mr. Zhao's support, the company might. But Chen Han is beyond reason. Veins bulge angrily on his forehead as he violently points his finger right at her, screaming, you are fired. Xiao Lu collapses to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She stuttered, asking why and what she did wrong. Chen Han ruthlessly points at the door. Now you're fired. We'll cover your 1-year compensation. Now settle your salary and get lost. Do you understand? Now honestly, anyone would panic here. With Xiao Lu literally crying waterfalls in the background, Chen Han desperately calls his wife, yelling, hey, wife, have you arrived at the airport? Okay, I'll be right there. Clutching his phone, Chen Han's eyes burn with a dark, vengeful fury. Zhao Yan, I'll let you enjoy for a little while longer, he snarls. After dealing with my wife's matters, see how I'll handle you. Meanwhile, the sun shines brightly over the massive Changhong trading skyscraper. Inside the bustling lobby, a large crowd of employees eagerly waits. What kind of car do you think Mr. Zhao will come in? One asks. It has to be a top-notch luxury car, another replies. Yeah, controlling Hanjiang Group. He must have incredible connections. It seems our company is about to take off. Suddenly, a polished shoe steps onto the pavement with a sharp tap. Zhao Yan steps out, adjusting his red bow tie with a dazzling, confident smile. Behind him sits a completely ordinary city taxi. He thinks to himself, Xu Shui is quite knowledgeable. This welcome ceremony is quite grand. The entire crowd instantly freezes in deafening silence. They stare blankly, completely stunned. He came in a taxi. One whispers in sheer disbelief. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. The company's executives immediately start kissing up. One older man laughs, praising, Mr. Zhao, you're so low-key and down-to-earth. Another loudly agrees, claiming even a taxi can highlight Mr. Zhao's extraordinary demeanor. Zhao Yan smiles warmly, thinking these youngsters from Changhong understand the ways of the world and have a bright future. Xu Shui, looking stunning in a sleek bluish-gray suit, steps forward with a bright smile. Mr. Zhao, hello. I'm Xu Shui, welcoming you to inspect Changhong. Looking up at the towering building, Zhao Yan commands smoothly, let everyone disperse. You can report to me separately. Xu Shui respectfully agrees, gesturing for him to follow her. They proceed directly to the executive office. Once inside, Xu Shui leans seductively over the desk. Mr. Zhao, do you have any orders? Should I bring the company's accounts? Zhao Yan calmly replies, no need. First buy a house and a commuting car for me in the company's name. Leaning back in his luxurious chair, he crosses his arms with a smooth smirk. I'll have someone handle it. But considering your identity, there's a family rule that those under 20 can't own any property. Luckily, that restriction was just lifted a few days ago. In his mind, he chuckles, admitting he's just showing off by making up random nonsense. Xu Shui's eyes widen in absolute awe. So, does the young master mean you can use all your power now? She asks, secretly wondering exactly which massive, elite family he comes from. Zhao Yan confidently confirms, basically, that's how it is. Hearing this, Xu Shui clenches her fist with a determined, triumphant smile. That's great. In reality, Changhong is currently facing a major crisis. In the dimly lit office, Zhao Yan frowned deeply. He asked crisis. His panicked secretary, holding her head in extreme distress, explained the grim situation. Yes, specifically, it's an imminent crisis. Because Ming established Changhong trading with the aim of tapping into Hanjiang's resources. But just now, President Chen called me. He not only won't provide us with resources, but also intends to ruin us. Zhao Yan narrowed his eyes, deep in thought. He muttered, that Chen Han is indeed capable of such things. Xu Shui explained, although I don't understand why President Chen would suddenly turn hostile. But our business heavily overlaps with Hanjiang. If President Chen causes trouble, I'm afraid. But instead of panicking, he just smiled confidently and waved his hand. Don't worry. Where there's a will, there's a way. Is there an issue with buying a house and a car? The secretary anxiously replied, those are not problems. We'll start facing losses at least by next month. Zhao Yan calmly issued his orders. That's good. Arrange to transfer 1 million to my personal account. I'll need it tonight. As for the crisis, I'll find a way to deal with it. After she assured him she would handle it, he shamelessly thought, I fear nothing. Worst case, we'll dissolve the company next month. Money for chasing girls is more crucial. The secretary clapped her hands and laughed, completely misunderstanding his motives. Mr. Zhao, you're indeed something. You treat such a big matter so lightly. I guess President Chun and Zhao probably had a small disagreement. They'll likely reconcile soon. Meanwhile, at the Binhai International Airport, Chen Han stood waiting with fake dog ears and his tongue sticking out. He held up a sign that read, Welcome home, wifey. He thought to himself, women need to be coaxed. As long as I sincerely apologize, my wife should calm down. Honey, here. Just then, a woman's feet in elegant red strap heels stepped into view, pulling a blue suitcase. Chen Han jumped up enthusiastically, completely oblivious to her mood. My wife, you're back. But guys, Hishinrue glared at him, a fiery aura of pure rage erupting behind her. Chun, you have the audacity to come. He immediately panicked, waving his hands defensively. Honey, let me explain. She didn't want to hear a single word of it. She swung her long leg high into the air for a devastating axe kick, shouting, Explain my foot. I know what you guys want to see over here. The exact second he knew, he messed up. Look at his face, guys. His eyes bulged in pure terror as he screamed. Oh no. With a heavy thud, her heel slammed directly down onto the back of his skull. He cried out, Honey, I was wrong. A sickening snap echoed through the terminal as the sheer force cracked his spine. He crashed violently into the floor, completely shattering the stone tiles beneath him. The surrounding crowd froze, staring in utter disbelief at the brutal public spectacle. Standing victoriously over his crumpled body, she scoffed. I see you've forgotten that I'm a 5th-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Trust me, guys, you never want to make a martial arts master angry. The bystanders immediately pulled out their phones, eagerly snapping photos and recording. One guy excitedly shouted, Woohoo! In broad daylight, in full view, a man was publicly beaten by his wife. Is this a distortion of human nature or a moral decline? Post it on social media. Dragging her suitcase, she commanded, Let's go. Come home with me. Sitting up on the cracked floor, sporting a massive lump on his head, Chen cursed his rival internally. Zhao Yan, you arrogant fool. I'll never let you off. I'll make you pay dearly, make you go bankrupt. Afterwards, at the elegant Starlight restaurant, Zhao Yan was busy enjoying a romantic dinner date with Binhai's ice queen, Chen Yuro. She smiled sweetly, resting her head on her hand. Zhao Yan, you guessed right. My brother canceled our plans for tonight. He replied with a smug, knowing look. That's expected. I'm a person with extraordinary foresight. Zhao Yan instantly gave the order for food. Her cheeks flushed pink as she looked at him fondly. How did you know I like these? Why did you suddenly change? It's strange. Zhao Yan winked. I think this is what they call cold reading. Internally, he cheered. Hee hee, I got this information from your older brother's memories. She chuckled, thoroughly charmed. But you're impressive. No wonder you and my brother developed so quickly. Can you tell me how my brother and you met? He smiled smoothly. Of course, it was on a carefree afternoon. In his mind, he was already celebrating. Finally, we can start chatting. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Sitting nearby, a sinister man known as Mr. Shadowy Observer watched them intensely. He grinned maliciously and thought, Zhao Yan, a newcomer to the club, a fledgling without a crisis sense. Let you enjoy a little longer. Later, standing outside the restaurant under the city lights, Chen Yuro said, having a meal and chatting with you is really interesting. I haven't been this happy in a long time. Zhao Yan looked at him invitingly. I live nearby. Why don't you come to my place? My cat could do somersaults. Chen Yuro scratched her head, gracefully declining the obvious bait. Maybe some other time. Zhao Yan said, It's late. I'll accompany you home. Deep down, he knew the truth. Beautiful women aren't that easy to handle. As they walked down a dimly lit park path, she hugged her arms, looking around nervously. The environment here is good, but a bit too quiet and eerie. He walked closer, assuring her, Don't be afraid. I'm here. Suddenly, 3 menacing street thugs blocked their path. The leader, sporting a spiky yellow mohawk and swinging a wooden bat, sneered. What use is it to have you? Both of you come with me. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. But Zhao Yan just smiled deviously. He thought, It seems that the heavens are helping me. Just worried about not getting a chance with Chen Yuro, and now there's someone helping out. He confidently pulled Chen Yuro tightly into his arms, shielding her. Don't worry, leave it to me. Flustered by his sudden, commanding embrace, she whispered, Okay. Look, I'm telling you guys, he thought he was being so slick. But as she leaned against his chest, she narrowed her eyes and thought, Isn't it a coincidence? These people, Zhao Yan arranged for them, right? The thugs charged forward with their weapons raised. The leader shouted, If you won't drink a toast, you'll have to drink a forfeit. The bounty is in hand, and I'll make you fly. Guys, things are heating up. The spiky mohawk thug lunged straight at Zhao Yan with a heavy wooden bat. With a soft sliding sound, Zhao Yan swiftly dodged the heavy swing, completely unfazed by the sudden attack. He smirked with pure confidence. He declared, "It's my turn." Suddenly, Zhao Yan launched a massive high kick, landing a devastating mark right on the thug's shin. He struck a cinematic martial arts pose as a brilliant golden dragon aura materialized behind him. He announced, "Kung Fu Jiao Xiaolong is here." The thug collapsed to the ground with a heavy thud, totally knocked out, his spirit practically leaving his body. Look, I'm telling you guys, his buddies were absolutely terrified. The chubby green thug and the red crest thug just stood there with their eyes practically popping out of their heads. Guys, I think they just pooped in their pants. Before they could even blink, Zhao Yan delivered a fierce, sweeping kick straight to the chubby thug's face. The guy went flying backward through the air. He was literally hallucinating his heavenly grandma welcoming him. Meanwhile, the remaining red crest thug was dripping with sweat, running to save his life. He thought to himself in panic, "Damn it, wasn't it said that the other party is an ordinary college student? Where's the ordinary in this situation?" Just then, Zhao Yan kicked him squarely in the back, sending him soaring. He yelled, "Thinking of running?" Too late. Afterwards, Zhao Yan calmly dusted off his hands and smiled. "Effortless," he noted. Shinyuro watched the whole thing in absolute shock, holding her chest. She whispered, "He's hitting hard. This doesn't seem like acting. Are they okay?" Zhao Yan grabbed the unconscious thug by his collar. He reassured her, "Don't worry, they won't die. This guy just mentioned a bounty. Someone behind the scenes must be controlling them. I'll ask." He slapped the thug awake with sharp smacks. "Hey, wake up. Tell me, who offered you a bounty to capture me?" The bruised thug stuttered nervously that he didn't know the person. At this time, hiding safely behind a nearby tree, the shadowy observer watched everything unfold. He thought to himself, unexpectedly, this Zhao Yan is quite a fighter. The members of the Life Exchange Club are not simple. Zhao Yan leaned in, looking like an absolute demon, grinning fiercely. He threatened, "If you won't talk, looks like I need to get a bit rough." But guys, nobody could have imagined this. The cornered thug slowly reached behind his back and grabbed a hidden dagger. With a sharp hiss, the desperate thug thrust the blade directly toward Zhao Yan. But Zhao Yan easily caught the thug's arm, right before the blade could even connect. Suddenly, something caught Zhao Yan's attention, and he sharply turned his head in surprise. The thug panicked completely, trying to pull away with tears streaming down his face. He cried out, "Quick, get out of the way. I don't want to be a murderer." Shinyuro screamed out in terror, "Zhao Yan, be careful." Zhao Yan's gaze sharpened, entirely focused and unfazed by the threat. In a single fluid motion, he twisted the thug's arm, flipping him completely upside down. He realized something fell off. He thought to himself, "This guy is really suspicious." He raised his hand high into the air, ready to deliver a finishing strike. With a heavy thud, Zhao Yan knocked the thug out cold, ending the fight instantly. A crowd had started to gather. One concerned woman said, "It seems so. Call the police," while a guy nearby praised Zhao Yan for being so brave. Zhao Yan turned to Chinyuro. "Yuro, let's go, we'll talk later." Still shaken, she agreed. He grabbed her hand, and they hurried away from the park together, leaving the knocked-out thugs behind. They quickly reached the bustling city street. Zhao Yan suggested, "My car was just taken. Let's take a taxi." Standing close under the streetlights, Yuro blushed and thanked him for his help, admitting she didn't expect him to be so skilled. He smiled gently. "No need to be polite. Most of them came for me." Just then, they spotted a taxi. The shadowy observer was standing right next to it, but quietly walked away. Zhao Yan pointed it out, "That person didn't get on the car. Let's take that one." They hopped into the back seat, and Zhao Yan calmly instructed the driver to head to the Imperial Gardens. The taxi sped down the glowing, neon-lit streets into the dark night. After a while, Chinyuro noticed something was terribly wrong. She leaned forward, "Master, we're on the wrong road, should turn left." The cabbie was dripping with cold sweat, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. He stuttered in pure panic that he didn't know what happened and couldn't control himself. Realizing the sudden danger, Zhao Yan ordered fiercely, "Stop, park on the side." The poor driver was absolutely terrified. He cried out that he couldn't stop or control his own body, begging to know what to do. Now honestly, anyone would panic here. Yuro gripped Zhao Yan's arm anxiously, her voice shaking as she asked him what they should do. Zhao Yan narrowed his eyes, his mind racing to put the bizarre pieces together. He realized the harsh truth. He thought, that person who didn't get on the car is the problem. I guess he did something. The driver was completely bawling his eyes out now. He yelled, "I'm innocent. Can you please not involve me? I haven't even gotten married yet." Zhao Yan stayed completely cool. He told the driver, "He's not targeting you. Let him control you for now." Defeated, the cabbie agreed to just follow his instructions. Zhao Yan knew exactly what they were dealing with. He deduced, the other party has strange abilities, most likely they're also from the exchange club. Eventually, the taxi pulled up to a creepy, abandoned building in the middle of nowhere. The cabbie nervously announced that they had arrived. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet. Zhao Yan just smirked, utterly fearless. He calmly said, "Oh, take 500, no need for change. Zhao Yan and Chen Yuro stood before a dark, ominous doorway. Yuro asked, Zhao Yan, should we go in? Zhao Yan didn't even hesitate, turning away. Who in their right mind would go in? Let's go. As they walked away, a desperate cry pierced the silence. Help! Someone help me! Yuro stopped in her tracks, looking back. Someone's yelling for help, but Zhao Yan kept his cool, replying, Ignore her, it's probably a trap. Let's hurry. The cries grew louder, echoing through the dark forest. Help us! Yuro hesitated, her empathy taking over. Sounds like more than one person. Maybe we should check it out. Zhao Yan let out a heavy sigh, face-palming. Okay, let's go take a look. Look, guys, if horror movies have taught us anything, this is the exact moment things go horribly wrong. Meanwhile, hiding behind a nearby tree, the creepy shadowy observer watched them with a sinister smirk. He muttered, Another newcomer in our hands. This exchange club is truly something. Unaware of the trap, Zhao Yan and Yuro stepped into a dilapidated building. A single lantern cast eerie shadows on the floor. Voices pleaded from below, Help! Please save us. Zhao Yan grabbed the handle of a heavy metal trapdoor and pulled it open, revealing a pitch-black staircase. Come on, let's go down and see. With Yuro holding the lantern to light the way, they carefully descended into the underground stairs. The cries for help echoed loudly off the cold stone walls. Suddenly, Yuro gasped in absolute shock. What? Oh no! Before them was a horrifying sight. A woman, battered and exhausted, was bound by a thick iron collar and heavy chains. And she wasn't alone. Several captive women were chained to the walls and floor. They looked up with desperate hope. Handsome guy, beautiful girl, please save us, one begged. Another cried out. Thank goodness, we're finally saved. Yuro rushed over, examining the massive locks on the collars. She tugged at the metal, frustrated. These chains can't be opened without a key. While Yuro tried to comfort the captives, Zhao Yan stood guard. But then, a low rumbling sound filled the room. What's that sound? Yuro asked nervously. Panic setting in, Yuro quickly checked her phone, but her face dropped. No signal on my phone. But guys, out of the shadows, massive, terrifying claws stepped onto the floorboards right behind them. A pack of giant, monstrous demon dogs let out deafening roars, their red eyes glowing with pure rage as drool dripped from their fangs. Without warning, one of the massive beasts lunged straight for Zhao Yan with its jaws wide open. But Zhao Yan wasn't fazed at all. He launched a brutal counterattack, delivering a relentless barrage of explosive punches and bone-crushing kicks, completely overwhelming the monster. The giant wolf collapsed onto the floor, utterly defeated. Zhao Yan casually adjusted his bow tie, laying out a breath. Is that all? But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Suddenly, a sharp embroidery needle was thrust directly toward Zhao Yan's lower regions. With lightning speed, Zhao Yan caught the wrist of his attacker. It was Yuro. Her eyes were completely blank, as if she was being mind-controlled. Just then, the shadowy observer stepped out from the doorway, clapping slowly. Zhao Yan said, Release the dogs to take advantage of the chaos. You've got some brains after all. Strange man said, Hee hee. As a newcomer, you're quite impressive. No wonder you earned so many points on your first try. Zhao Yan rubbed the back of his neck, grinning confidently. You're looking for me, not them. Let them go and we can talk. The shadowy observer scoffed, spreading his arms with arrogance. Young man, do you really have the qualifications to negotiate with me now? He continued with a wicked smirk. Let me tell you, next month, the club will open its annual life points competition, lasting for a month. At that time, all members' points will become tradable. In other words, with a swift motion, he hurled a barrage of sharp, flying needles directly at Zhao Yan. All players' points will be in a state of being up for grabs. Newcomers will be the prime targets for all veteran members. Zhao Yan leapt into the air, effortlessly kicking away the deadly projectiles with a blazing trail of motion. Landing smoothly on his feet, Zhao Yan glared at the man. With your embroidery needle skills, do you think you can control me? But the shadowy observer just chuckled darkly. Hee hee. Controlling you is indeed not easy, but controlling her is much simpler. He pointed toward Yuro, who was now blankly reaching for a mysterious bottle. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. Zhao Yan's eyes widened in sheer terror. He shouted, Yuro, but it was too late. Tears streamed down Yuro's face as her body, moving completely against her will, forced the liquid down her throat. The shadowy observer held up a single, glowing needle, his smile twisting into pure malice. So, Zhao Yan, are you going to watch her perish, or become my servant? Chun Yuro frantically drank the mysterious liquid. Seeing this, Zhao Yan rushed toward her, his face pale with panic. Zhao Yan gritted his teeth and roared, You die for me. Suddenly, with a massive burst of speed, he dashed forward, kicking up a thick cloud of dust as he determined to end the threat once and for all. With a swift, practiced motion, he launched a deadly barrage of sharp needles straight at Zhao Yan. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Zhao Yan moved like an absolute blur, effortlessly dodging the deadly volley as the needles slammed into the floor. OMG guys, this is pants-soiling moment. The observer was completely stunned, freezing in his tracks as he thought in disbelief, what, so fast? Without missing a single beat, Zhao Yan closed the distance and delivered a devastating, high-speed strike right across the old man's face. The immense impact sent the observer flying backward with a heavy thud, violently knocking a metal pipe into the air. Zhao Yan swiftly pinned him down by the throat, his eyes glowing with fierce intensity. He shouted, "Hand over the antidote." The old man gasped in pain. "Ah, it hurts. It's just a potent aphrodisiac. No need to worry about your life." Just then, Zhao Yan heard a soft, breathless voice behind him. "Zhao Yan, I feel so hot." He turned around to see Chun Yuro writhing on the floor, her cheeks flushed bright red as the potent potion rapidly took its toll on her body. Seeing this, the shadowy observer managed a wicked, arrogant grin. He wheezed, exotic beauty." Zhao Yan had heard enough of this nonsense. With a sharp, fluid motion, he snatched the fallen metal pipe from the ground. He didn't hesitate for a second. With a fierce, punishing strike, he pinned the man to the floor, drawing a piercing scream of agony from the arrogant villain. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. The old man trembled in absolute fear, sweat pouring down his face as he quickly held up a bottle. He cried out, "Here, I'll give it. I'll give." After this intense showdown, Zhao Yan knelt on the floor, carefully holding the weakened Chinyuro in his arms. He cast a cold, menacing glare back at the defeated observer. He spoke with a chilling edge that could freeze the room. "I don't care if you're from some secret organization or a company, but club matters can't involve the people around me. Otherwise, I'll make you suffer 10,000 times more than you are now." The observer, bruised and terrified, nodded frantically, shouting, "Yes, yes." In the next scene, Zhao Yan gently lifted Chinyuro, asking softly, "Are you okay?" Still deeply dazed, she mumbled, What happened just now?" Meanwhile, the newly freed captive girls began to slowly approach from the shadows. Zhao Yan smiled warmly and reassured her, "It's okay. Let's go." Behind them, the captive girls had cornered the terrified observer. He stuttered in sheer panic. What do you want?" Their eyes glowed bright red with furious vengeance. One of them smirked and said, "What? As you said, next month is the club point competition. We're here to snatch points." Another added, "You tormented us before, and now we're returning the favor several times over." The observer desperately reached out toward the door, screaming, "No, no, don't." He pleaded pathetically, "Young man, in consideration of me, saving your woman, save me." Zhao Yan paused at the doorway, his expression completely indifferent. He glanced back and replied coldly, "Save? Leave a scum like you to harm the world." Without another word, he carried Chinyuro out into the hallway, leaving the observer to his devastating fate as the chilling sounds of vengeance echoed behind them. Later that night, outside a luxurious modern home, Chinyuro happily called out under the moonlight, Brother, I'm back." She rushed inside, but stopped dead in her tracks. Her brother, Chun Han, who was currently trapped in Zhao Yan's original body, was standing there on crutches, heavily wrapped in bandages. She gasped, "Brother, what's wrong with you?" "Got into a fight." Zhao Yan chuckled, "You're this old? Stop fighting every day. It's unsettling." Chinyuro casually added, "Most of the time, it's because he got beaten up for cheating." Chinyuro looked nervous as she quickly warned him, "Don't you forget, today is the day my sister-in-law comes back." That smile vanished real quick. Chun Han completely lost it, swinging his crutch wildly at Zhao Yan. He yelled, "Damn, I'm here in this mess. It's probably because of you. Stay away from my sister." Zhao Yan backed up, laughing, "Big brother, calm down. We're all family. Let's talk it out." Chun Han barked, "Who the hell is family with you?" But then, Chinyuro gently took Zhao Yan's arm and smiled. "Brother, let me introduce. Zhao Yan is now my boyfriend." She continued happily, "Also, all those things you did, taking revenge on him, he forgave you." Guys, I think his soul just left his body. Chun Han was absolutely shell-shocked, thinking, "He forgave me? Can these words even be spoken by a human?" Zhao Yan patted his shoulder with a massive smirk. "Brother, reflect outside. Don't make sister-in-law angry again." Chinyuro led him away, saying, "Let's go, Zhao Yan. I'll take you to meet sister-in-law." Zhao Yan happily agreed. Sister-in-law is so powerful and extraordinary. I must see her. Chun Han glared at them with pure, burning rage. He gritted his teeth. "Zhao Yan, you my secretary, take away my employees, and even stole my sister. Wait for it. I will make you regret." 3 days later, high up in a towering corporate skyscraper, Secretary Shui stood before Zhao Yan, looking deeply concerned. "Master Zhao, I invited you this time because the company is in big trouble. Chun Han has taken action, and almost all our businesses are cut off." Zhao Yan leaned back in his chair and thought, "Is big brother Chun Han this ruthless?" She sighed heavily. "The situation is like this. If it continues, the company might not last much longer." Zhao Yan rubbed his chin. "Does Chun Han have such a significant impact on us?" She explained that Chang Hong's business scope overlapped completely with his, reminding him that his relationship with director Chun used to be good. Zhao Yan waved it off. "Don't mention that guy. What do you think our company needs to turn things around?" Xiao Lu replied with a grim expression. "Currently, the company has no new business, and the bank is pressing for repayment. Unless a stronger financial consortium intervenes, it's challenging to recover in the short term. Suddenly, a glowing holographic screen appeared right in front of Zhao Yan's face. His eyes widened as he read the system notification. He exclaimed, "What? The point competition is really coming." He immediately sat up and confidently told Xiao Lu, "You go out first. I have a plan, but I need some time." She nodded, clearly impressed, thinking he was truly a genius for coming up with a solution so quickly. As soon as she left, Zhao Yan eagerly read through the glowing blue display. The system announced that existing club points and cash assets would be converted into seasonal points at a proportional rate. A cute virtual Hollow Bunny announcer popped up on the screen, holding a little red megaphone. She explained that points rankings were starting, and during this period, member points would become entirely tradable. Bunny Girl asked if he will participate or not by pressing yes or no. "We guys, I want to press both the buttons yes and no." Zhao Yan rubbed his chin, deep in thought. This forces individual members to choose sides. To get higher rewards, they must team up or accept employment. Otherwise, during the season, individual members are likely to be targeted by others. He stood up and looked out the massive window at the sprawling city below. He muttered thoughtfully, "This world has a lot of ordinary and unfair things." The new season rules meant absolute, ruthless chaos. To make your opponent submit, you could only make yourself more powerful. He knew that out there, true masters were about to emerge, and the weak would be utterly crushed. With a confident, unbreakable smirk, Zhao Yan looked at the final holographic prompt. Without a single moment of hesitation, he firmly pressed the yes button. The real game had just begun. Zhao Yan stared intently at the Starry Points leaderboard. He noticed Wu Xian taking first place with a massive 52,000 points. He thought to himself, even though they use a mixed mode for individuals and groups, there wasn't an option for my group just now. The leaderboard only shows individual rankings. Leaning back, he analyzed the situation. He deduced, if my guess is correct, the group option requires members to form their own teams. Unfortunately, I'm a lone wolf right now. This is going to be tough. Suddenly, a holographic prompt appeared from the system, announcing the start of the Rising Dragon in the Abyss task. Zhao Yan hesitated, realizing his points were far too low. He knew that even if a group tried to recruit him, they wouldn't take him seriously. He decided he needed to gather some points first. With a decisive tap, he accepted the mission. Immediately, his body dissolved into a stream of glowing digital data as the system initiated the transmission. Afterwards, he materialized right in the center of the bustling club hall, looking sharp and ready for whatever came next. A messy-haired man casually strolled up to him, offering a cigarette. He asked, "Want to smoke?" Zhao Yan replied, "No thanks, let's get straight to drafting the agreement." Zhao Yan introduced himself and asked if the man was also participating in the Starry Season. The man took a drag of his cigarette and replied, "No, I'm from a different era than you. I come from 20 years ago. The Starry Season requires participants from the same era." He then introduced himself as Luo Jiejun. Surprised, Zhao Yan asked, "You joined the club 20 years ago in my era. You must be quite something." Luo Jiejun asked, "How come I've never heard of you?" Luo Jiejun's expression darkened. He explained that manager Su Su warned him he would perish soon if he didn't make an exchange. Desperate, he had wagered absolutely all of his points just to be here. Zhao Yan smirked confidently, realizing the stakes. He thought, "All your points? Looks like you plan to make a big profit this time." Luo Jiejun leaned over the table, genuinely curious. Zhao Yan asked why he chose him, considering he was just a newcomer. Luo Jiejun calmly replied that Su Su mentioned your potential was incredibly high, so he had to take a gamble. But guys, this is where it gets funny. A massive 30-point test paper flashed in Zhao Yan's mind. He broke into a nervous sweat and thought, high potential? Doesn't that mean my starting point is very low? Half an hour passed. Luo Jiejun stared in absolute disbelief at the massive stack of papers Zhao Yan had prepared. He exclaimed, "Nonsense! Are you writing a novel or what?" Zhao Yan just gave a cheerful smile, casually stating he was just being cautious. Luo Jiejun picked up the thick contract, muttering about how steady young people were nowadays. Zhao Yan's mission objectives were clear. First, assist the police in taking down the Zhou gang, and second, help his brothers live a peaceful life. Look, I'm telling you guys, this contract was no joke. As Zhao Yan signed the paperwork, he finally read Luo Jiejun's true identity. He was an undercover police officer. A confident smile spread across Zhao Yan's face as he thought, "No wonder, I didn't expect this guy to be an undercover cop. This exchange just got interesting." The system finalized the pact, transmitting Zhao Yan's consciousness at lightning speed. The scene shifted to the vibrant, neon-lit streets of Lin City, 20 years in the past. Deep within the dark, gritty alleyways of the slums, Zhao Yan woke up inside Luo Jiejun's body. He sat on the edge of the bed in a dingy apartment, puffing on a cigarette. He quietly thought to himself, so this is Luo Jiejun's life. The memories flooded in. Luo Jiejun grew up fighting in the slums before becoming a cop and going undercover. His boss, Huang Guofeng, was a cunning man who played both sides. He remembered Huang promising him a peaceful life once the case was over. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Huang Guofeng secretly planned to end him to cover up his own crimes. And Luo Jiejun knew it. To make matters worse, his new undercover assignment was with Zhao Shun, a billionaire gang boss far more terrifying and ruthless than anyone he had faced before. Outside, his loyal brothers were arguing. Luo Jiejun tried to warn them away, saying it was too dangerous. But his crew fiercely refused to leave his side, declaring that they would never let him face the danger alone. He thought, I have to be wary of my boss, keep an eye on Zhao Shun, and gain the trust of both sides. To complete the exchange task, I also have to take down Zhao Shun and help my 4 subordinates live a peaceful life. Just then, a loyal brother burst into the room, announcing that the notorious Zhao Shun had finally arrived. Luo Jiejun's eyes narrowed. He thought, he's finally willing to see us? All right, I'll go check it out. Luo Jiejun approached the billionaire boss. He kept his cover, saying he thought Zhao Shun didn't value his efforts. Zhao Shun simply laughed, claiming he absolutely valued him, but just wanted him to lay low after his previous boss got into trouble. Pressing the issue, Luo Jiejun asked if it was finally time to make a move. Zhao Shun agreed and ordered his men to show him the target. A photograph of a beautiful woman was handed over. It was Huo Wanqing, the only daughter of Lin City's wealthiest billionaire, worth billions herself. Luo Jiejun stared at the photo, thinking Zhao Shun wanted to kidnap her to make headline news. He secretly planned to notify the police the moment Zhao Shun acted. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet. That smile vanished real quick from Zhao Shun's face as he pointed directly at Luo Jiejun. He coldly commanded, No, it's not me. It's you. You want to kidnap her. This job is yours alone. Luo Jiejun gritted his teeth, his mind racing. He thought, nonsense. This is a loyalty test. Zhao Shun is really difficult to deal with. Zhao Shun leaned forward, asking if he was afraid. Luo Jiejun kept his cool, replying smoothly that with his former boss gone, he was just waiting for Zhao Shun to lift them up. Why would he be afraid? Taking a photograph, Luo Jiejun promised to handle the mission perfectly for him. Satisfied, Zhao Shun stood up, praising his capability. However, he casually added that his subordinate, De Biao, would accompany him to follow his lead. De Biao stepped up, respectfully greeting him as Brother Jiejun. Luo Jiejun played along, humbly telling him to just call him Xiao Jun and that they would rely on him. But inwardly, a heavy tension settled over Luo Jiejun. He shot a dark, calculating glare, thinking to himself, placing a spy by my side? This Zhao Shun is too cunning. Guys, the night is still young, but the neon lights of the Golden Tiger nightclub are already flashing. Luo Jiejun and Delay stride up the steps, completely unfazed by the dangerous territory they are entering. Inside, Delay doesn't waste any time. He grabs the host by the shoulder. Hey, buddy, where's your boss? He demands. The short guy stammers in a panic. Brother Luo, you're here. Brother Quanlong is in the office. I'll take you to him right away. The host rushes ahead to the door, calling out nervously. But Quanlong shouts from inside. Don't bother me. I'm in the middle of something. But guys, Luo Jiejun doesn't care about manners. With a heavy thud, he kicks the door wide open. Inside, a beautiful woman lays on the bed, her eyes wide with shock at the sudden intrusion. Look, I'm telling you guys, talk about a mood killer. Quanlong turns around, absolutely furious. Curse it. Who's there, he barks. Do you have a death wish? But standing in the doorway, casually taking a drag from a cigarette, is Luo Jiejun. With a confident smirk, he says, Quanlong, it's been a while. You seem pretty powerful now. That smile vanished real quick. Recognizing him, Quanlong immediately changes his tune. He scrambles to cover himself up, nervously laughing. Oh, it's Brother Luo? No matter how powerful I am, I can't compete with you. Please have a seat. The room settles down. The woman quickly gets dressed and sits nervously. Quanlong tries to play it cool, complaining about his bad back. But Luo is not having any of it. Quanlong, you didn't treat me like this before, Luo remarks coldly. He reminds Quanlong that without his old boss, Crazy Kai, he is nothing but a stray dog trying to put on airs. All right, let's get down to business, he declares. Before Brother Kai got into trouble, you still owed us a batch of goods. I'm here today to collect them. Quanlong sneers. Brother Luo, you must be joking, he replies. They say debts fade with the debtor. Crazy Kai's already gone down, so it's a bit unreasonable to ask for those goods. And right then, his hand secretly presses a hidden button under the table. Trust me, guys, this is a classic villain mistake. Luo's eyes narrow, an intense aura radiating from him. He calmly asks, so, you're planning to renege on the debt? Quanlong slams his hand on the table with a loud crack. Luo Jiejun, Crazy Kai is finished. And who do you think you are? He yells with arrogance. Trying to act tough in front of me? Today, I am refusing to pay your debt. So what? Huh? Suddenly, the door bursts open. A whole squad of muscular thugs rushes into the room, wielding large blades. Boss, we're here, they shout. Who's the fool with a death wish daring to cause trouble? I'll finish him with one shot. Now feeling completely confident with his backup, Quanlong leans back on the couch. Just the two of you dare to challenge me? Are you out of your mind? But guys, Luo Jiejun doesn't even flinch. He calmly replies, Two are enough to deal with you. As he speaks, his hands grab the edges of the massive wooden table in front of them. Guanglong just stares in confusion. A fierce grin spreads across Luo's face. He shouts, "Delay, do it!" With an incredible burst of strength, Luo effortlessly flips the entire heavy wooden table into the air, sending it flying right toward the group of thugs. A thunderous explosion of dust erupts in the room as table crash onto the thugs. Meanwhile, on the couch, Delay has a gun pointed straight at Guanglong's head. The thugs are stunned. "Is this guy crazy?" one yells. "Who cares? Take him down. Attack." But Luo Jiajun is already in the air, leaping off the airborne table like a rocket. In a terrifyingly calm voice, he says to Guanglong, "I'm just doing this so you can quietly watch how your men perish." Guanglong sweats profusely, muttering, "Is your boss out his mind? Charging in like this just to get ended?" Even Delay is sweating, thinking to himself, "This guy isn't playing by any rules. Weren't we supposed to capture him and interrogate him about the arms shipment?" Back in the brawl, the blonde Mohawk thug raises his handgun. With a sharp crack, he fires a blinding shot directly at Luo. What happens next will completely shock you guys. Luo twists his body with supernatural speed. The bullet completely misses him, leaving only a glowing trail in the air. Before the thug can even blink, Luo closes the distance. With a swift, fluid motion, his blade strikes true. A dark shadow sprays as the impact leaves a devastating mark. The blonde thug collapses, but the threat isn't over. Another thug, wielding a massive cleaver, lunges from behind. Without even looking back, Luo violently backhands his blade. Guanglong watches the chaos unfold from the couch, absolutely trembling. "No way that fast," he panics. Was Luo Jiajun always this strong? Impossible. Even his old boss wasn't this powerful. Luo is an unstoppable force. He spins like a whirlwind of destruction, his blade emitting a glowing golden aura. One by one, the remaining thugs are sent crashing to the floor. The light fades from their eyes in an instant. The fight is over in mere seconds. Luo stands amidst the fallen, calmly wiping his blade with a cloth. "You guys are pretty weak," he smirks. He thinks to himself, satisfied. "After using the basic enhancement serum, my physical stats have skyrocketed. I'm really looking forward to seeing the effects of the advanced one." Even Delay is completely speechless. His jaw drops as he stares at the carnage. "Curse it. This is way too strong," he murmurs. "Guys, I'm 100% sure he just ruined those trousers." Luo slowly approaches Guanglong, who is now sitting on the floor, absolutely terrified. "Where are the goods?" Luo asks coldly. Guanglong stammers, "I have them. They're at warehouse number 15 at Taihadak. I'll take you there. You can take as much as you want." But Luo just coldly stares at his phone. "No need to lead the way," he replies. "I don't like troubling others. Better luck in your next life." Hearing the order, Delay readies his weapon and says, "Understood." Come on, guys, Guanglong really should have paid his debts. In the next scene, Luo Jiajun calmly walks out of the Golden Tiger nightclub, lighting up another cigarette. He holds his phone to his ear. "Sir Huang, there are 19 casualties at the nightclub. We need you to handle it," he reports smoothly. On the other end, his boss, Huang Guofeng, sounds furious. "I told you to investigate Zhao Yan, and this is the mess you make?" But Luo just chuckles softly, blowing out a cloud of smoke. "Don't be mad, Sir Huang. I've got some explosive news. You know who is Xiaoqi, right? We're going to kidnap his daughter." Boss yelled, "Are you crazy? Do you even realize what you just said?" He said, "This is Zhou Shan's main plan. To prove my loyalty, he's making me kidnap Hua Xiaoqi's daughter, and at the same time, they'll extort 20 billion from the Hua family." Sir Huang's voice crackled through the speaker, sounding entirely too pleased. "Yes," he replied. "This guy finally can't hold back and is ready to take action. Do we have a specific time for the operation?" Luo Jiajun rubbed his forehead in sheer frustration, pleading, "Sir Huang, can you at least care about your subordinate's life? This is a high-stakes kidnapping. If we get caught, we'll be taken down." But Sir Huang just chuckled darkly. "Don't worry. Everything will be arranged." Luo Jiajun said, "Let's see how well you cooperate. I'll inform you of the time and place of the operation later." Hanging up now. With a heavy click, the line went dead. "Look, I'm telling you guys, never trust a boss with a villainous mustache." Back in his office, Huang Guofeng smiled wickedly to himself. "Too bad, Luo Jiajun," he muttered. "I'm out in the open while you're in the shadows. Once Zhou Shan makes a move, I'll wipe all of you out in one go." But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Luo Jiajun wasn't just some obedient pawn. Standing alone in the dark, a sinister grin spread across his face as he thought, "You want to use me to climb up the ranks and make a fortune? I'll make sure you live to earn it, but fade away before you can ever spend it." 3 days later, out in the wilderness, under the cover of night, Luo Jiajun and his crew laid low in the brush, their weapons ready. Gripping his walkie-talkie, Luo whispered, "Hua Xiaoqi's daughter's convoy is about to arrive." "Got it." De Biao, sitting nervously on a nearby rock, asked, "Brother Luo, isn't what we're doing a bit too much?" Luo glanced back, his expression ice-cold. "Too much? Weren't you the one in charge of keeping an eye on her? Do you think there's a better way than taking her by force?" De Biao hesitated, then nodded. "True. The Hua family is extremely protective of Hua Wanqing. Meanwhile, a sleek black convoy was winding its way up the deserted mountain road. Inside the lead car, Agent Purple Shades instructed his VIP. Miss Hua, try to act naturally later. Don't show any flaws. In the back seat, Hua Wanqing lounged elegantly, casually swirling a glass of red wine. She smiled softly and replied, "Understood. If we're acting, let's put on a good show." The agent gripped the steering wheel, assuring her, "Don't worry, Mississippi. Even if it's just an act, we'll treat it like a real kidnapping to ensure your safety." Hua Wanqing just sighed, completely bored. "You talk too much," she dismissed him. Suddenly, with a violent screech of tires, the convoy slammed on the brakes. Agent Purple Shades drew his weapon, his expression tense as he warned his decoy bodyguards. "They're coming. Be careful and make it look real." One of the guards nodded, saying, "Don't worry." The agent quickly added, "Just don't accidentally hurt me." Outside, Luo Jiejun advanced calmly, his heavy rifle tightly in hand. Behind him, his loyal brothers looked confused. One of them nervously asked, "Brother Luo, what's going on? Is there something fishy here?" Luo Jiejun didn't even look back. "If you trust me, don't ask so many questions," he ordered, before raising his weapon and unleashing a deafening barrage of gunfire. A thunderous roar of bullets echoed through the mountains. The decoy bodyguards were instantly thrown back by the overwhelming assault, falling to the ground in a dramatic stage display. Watching from the shadows, De Biao quickly pulled out his phone and reported to Zhou Shun. "Brother Shun," he said, clearly impressed, "this Luo Jiejun is incredibly fierce. He's definitely someone who can handle the big leagues." De Biao wiped a bead of sweat from his cheek, assuring his boss, "Don't worry, Brother Shun. After observing him these past 2 days, I'm certain that Luo Jiejun can't possibly be an undercover agent. Just 2 days ago, he took down dozens of Kuanglong's men. The guy is a complete madman." On the other end, Zhou Shun's deep voice replied, Makes sense. All right, after today's operation, bring him to meet me." De Biao nodded firmly. "Understood." The dust finally settled on the mountain road. Luo Jiejun stood victorious amidst the fallen decoys, his weapon slung casually over his shoulder. Stepping up to the luxury SUV, Luo Jiejun blew out a puff of smoke and smirked. "Miss Hua, don't be afraid. Come out and take a few steps." He gave a mocking bow. "Let me introduce myself. I'm a handsome and gentle robber. If you don't mind, come with us for a little trip." But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. The car door swung open, and Hua Wanqing stepped out, looking absolutely flawless. She casually placed a finger to her lips. "Shoo, Mr. Undercover," she whispered. "Keep it down. I know your name is Luo Jiejun, and you work for Huang Guofeng. I want to make a deal with you." That smile vanished real quick. Luo Jiejun's eyes widened in genuine surprise. He thought to himself, "Oh, she even knows my background. This girl is actually interesting." His mind raced. "What a hassle," he grumbled internally. "If she mentions the word undercover in front of De Biao, gaining Zhou Shun's trust will be completely impossible." Hua Wanqing crossed her arms, completely in control. "You have 2 options now," she challenged. "Either cooperate with me, or I'll expose your identity." Knowing he was cornered, Luo sighed. "Fine, but this isn't the place to talk about it. Come with us first. We'll take it one step at a time." Luo rubbed his temples and signaled his crew. "Take her, let's go." Delay watched the beautiful hostage walk past, muttering, "Damn, who would have thought this girl would be such a wild card? Life sure is full of surprises." Luo Jiejun just stared ahead, his voice grim. "I just hope this is a blessing, and not a curse." As she was escorted away, Hua Wanqing's sharp mind was already calculating her next move. She knew that in her father and Huang Guofeng's grand scheme, Luo Jiejun was nothing more than a disposable pawn. But she smiled to herself, thinking, however, because he's a pawn, he's even more incredibly valuable. Back on the desolate road, Agent Purple Shades pushed himself up from the pavement, groaning as he brushed off the devastating impact of the staged ambush. "This setup really hurts," he muttered. He grabbed his walkie-talkie, pulling himself together. "Sir Huang, the mission has been successfully completed," he reported. Through the static, Huang Guofeng's satisfied voice replied, "Good. Wrap it up." Later that night, at a rundown safe house hidden deep in the woods, Luo Jiejun turned to his men. "I need to speak with Miss Hua alone," he ordered. "Keep an eye out for me." His loyal brother nodded sharply. "Understood." Inside the dimly lit room, Hua Wanqing sat tied to a wooden chair, though she looked entirely unfazed. Luo Jiejun leaned in, demanding, "Now tell me, how did you know about my identity? And what's this deal you want to make?" She smirked confidently. "I overheard Hua Xiaoqi and Huang Guofeng talking. You're his undercover agent, right? As far as I know, none of his operatives have ever survived. Your fate will be exactly the same." She leaned forward, eyes gleaming. "So, the deal is this. If you help me, not only will I make sure you survive his trap, but I'll also give you a chance to become the chief superintendent." Luo scoffed, crossing his arms. "I'm not highly educated, so don't try to fool me. I seriously doubt a little girl like you has that kind of power." But guys, her polite smile twisted into something incredibly vengeful. "I've been waiting for this moment for years," she declared, her voice dropping to a chilling whisper. "If you can help me end Hua Xiaoqi's reign, I can make everything I just said happen. Luo Jiajun stared at the bound. Interesting, he chuckled, pacing around the room. Let's discuss this in more detail. Inside, he thought, I didn't expect such an incredible hidden advantage. Zhou Shun, Hua, Xiaoqi, Huang, Guofeng. Maybe I'll actually have a chance to take all these giants down in one single strike. Luo Jiajun took a slow drag of his cigarette, looking down at the tied-up Hua Wanqing. He smirked and said, Cooperation? Sure, but first, answer a few questions for me. If you're unwilling, then I can't help you. She looked up, unflinching, and replied, Go ahead and ask. You're Hua Xiaoqi's daughter, he began, blowing out a cloud of smoke. So why do you want him dead? Her expression darkened as the bitter memories surfaced. My mother, and he had a business marriage, she explained, but not long after I was born, he schemed and eliminated her entire family. Her eyes narrowed with pure resentment. She added, I only found out about this by accident when I was 18. Look, guys, you don't mess with a woman scorned, especially one with this kind of tragic backstory. Jiajun crossed his arms, curious. Second question, aren't you afraid? I'll tell Xiaoqi about this. Wanqing looked up at him with a confident, almost admiring smile. Because you're different. You're not like them, and you're quite interesting. He thought to himself, different? Could she also be a member of the club? But he quickly dismissed the idea, realizing that during the Starry Season League, members could directly check each other's points, and she didn't have any floating above her head. Pushing the thought aside, he asked, So, how do you want to cooperate? Still bound tightly to the chair, Wanqing smiled, a captivating smile. All right, then let me explain. At this time, Biao walked in. Brother Luo, we've already got her. What's the next step? Jiajun gestured casually, playing the role of the boss perfectly. Of course, we proceed as planned. Let's go and meet Hua Xiaoqi. Biao panicked a little. Brother Luo, just like that? Isn't it too dangerous to go to the Hua family? Jiajun side-eyed him with a sharp grin. If I don't go in person, how can I ensure that Hua Xiaoqi will obediently hand over the money? What, Brother Biao, are you scared? Sweat beaded down to Biao's face as he forced a confident look. He stuttered, insisting that this little thing couldn't scare him. In the next scene, the full moon shone brightly over the grand, imposing Hua family mansion. Inside, Hua Xiaoqi sat heavily in his ornate wooden chair. He thought to himself, Huang Guofeng was right. As long as we put on a good show and can deal with Zhou Shun, Lin City will be ours. But this guy knows too many of my secrets. Sooner or later, I'll have to silence him. Suddenly, Miss Crimson Chi Pao, the elegant maid, stepped into the room. Mr. Hua, there are two people outside claiming to be friends of your daughter. They want to see you. Hua Xiaoqi waved his hand. All right, let them in. His eyes narrowed dangerously behind his glasses. Huang Guofeng said that Zhou Shun has spies around the undercover agent, he muttered to himself. So I'll have to act more convincingly. Luo Jiajun and Biao casually strolled into the massive room. Hua Xiaoqi feigned ignorance. I don't recall Wanqing having friends like you too. Jiajun smiled smoothly. Meeting Mr. Hua for the first time, I was too excited and forgot to introduce myself. I'm Luo Jiajun, a new friend of Miss Hua. She owes us a little money, and we hope you can pay it back for her. Hua Xiaoqi played along, asking how much. Jiajun leaned in with a confident smirk. Not much, just 50 billion. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face. Hua Xiaoqi was completely shocked. How much? Just 50 billion? Are you joking? He yelled, mentally panicking. Wasn't it supposed to be 20 billion? Curse that Huang Guofeng. Jiajun made himself comfortable, taking a seat directly across from the billionaire. Do I look like I'm joking? He asked coldly. Transfer 30 billion to the Swiss bank account, and I want the other 20 billion in cash. You have 5 hours to prepare. Hua Xiaoqi threw his hands up in frustration. 20 billion in cash within 5 hours is impossible. Jiajun chuckled, a dark glint in his eyes. All right then, Mr. Hua. Since you're a big client, I'll give you a discount, 15 billion in cash and 20 billion by transfer. I need to ensure Wanqing's safety first. Just 3 minutes later, Hua Xiaoqi barked orders at his nervous butler. Old Wang, immediately gather all available cash and transfer 20 billion to this account. When Uncle Wang hesitated, Hua snapped, Don't ask so many questions. Just do it. Jiajun turned to Biao with a fake, polite smile. Brother Biao, go with the old man. He's not young anymore, so make sure he doesn't trip. Give him a hand if needed. The Biao cracked his knuckles maliciously. Don't worry. If this old fool tries anything funny, I'll end him with 2 punches. Grinning like a predator, De Biao threw a heavy arm around the trembling Uncle Wang's shoulder, leading the terrified butler out of the room, while Hua Xiaoqi watched silently. As soon as they were alone, the atmosphere completely shifted. Hua Xiaoqi dropped the act, his voice filled with venom. What's with the price increase? We agreed on 20 billion. What are you playing at? Jiajun calmly stood up. Mr. Hua, let me reintroduce myself. He extended a hand, his gaze piercing right through the old man. Luo Jiajun. But old man shouted, I'm waiting for your answer. Jiajun didn't hold back. All right, I'll be honest. The extra 15 billion is my cut. It's to buy your life. Hua Xiaoqi glared at him. What do you mean by that? Jiajun's expression turned terrifyingly dark. 3 years ago, to secure the Bay project, you bribed the chief architect with women, then silence them permanently. 2 years ago, to threaten the chief financial officer, you caused a devastating tragedy for his son. A year ago, you tried to interfere with the Anti-Corruption Commission. Hu Xiaoqi leaped from his chair, enraged. Enough. How do you know all this? Jiejun stood his ground, unfazed. You're a cunning old fox. You can figure it out. I know Huang Guofeng plans to eliminate me after I lure out Zhou Shan. And you're in on it too. Jiejun turned his back, a chilling aura surrounding him. But he's not just targeting me. 15 billion for your life. Fair deal. Realizing he had been completely outplayed and betrayed by his own ally, Hu Xiaoqi gritted his teeth. Very well, Huang Guofeng, you absolute traitor. Meanwhile, at a rundown, abandoned house deep in the woods, Huo Wanqing stood quietly with a blindfold over her eyes, surrounded by Luo, Jiejun's men. Jiejun sat casually on a wooden crate and ordered, all right, let her go. Outside the cabin, De Biao was secretly on the phone with Zhou Shun, reporting the success. Brother Shun, it's done. I've been with Luo Jiejun the entire time since the operation started. There's absolutely no problem. Zhou Shun replied through the line. Good. Looks like I was overly cautious. Bring him to see me. De Biao, grine. Got it. De Biao walked back in, completely unaware that Jiejun had orchestrated everything right under his nose. Let's go, Brother Luo. Brother Shun wants to see you. We're going to make a big move this time. Jiejun smirked, playing his part perfectly. Sure, I'm honored. As they prepared to leave, Jiejun's eyes narrowed with cold determination. He thought, the mission goal is getting closer and closer, and it's about time to deal with Changhong Trading's crisis too. He recalled his frantic secretary warning him earlier that the company had no new business, was short on cash flow, and the bank was pressing for payment. She had said that unless a more powerful consortium stepped in, they couldn't turn things around. Jiejun smiled a brilliant, confident smile. Maybe it's time to approach one of those giant consortia from 20 years in the future. I think he has something evil in his mind. Meanwhile, later that night, at Zhou Shun's luxurious residence, Zhou Shun relaxed in his armchair, a very satisfied smirk on his face. He praised him. Brother Luo, you truly are Crazy Kai's right-hand man. This job was done cleanly and efficiently, truly admirable. Luo Jiejun humbly replied, Brother Shun, you flatter me. It was just a small task. With you watching over us, my brothers and I can rest easy. Gesturing casually, Zhou Shun continued. I heard from De Biao that you asked for an extra 15 billion. That money is yours to keep. Luo bowed his head slightly. Thank you, Brother Shun. Zhou Shun said, you were right earlier, kidnapping Huo Wanqing was just a small appetizer. The main course is next. After this job, Lin City will be ours. Luo Jiejun asked, Brother Shun, if I may ask, what kind of business is this? Even 20 billion is just an appetizer. Zhou Shun with a serious face said, this matter concerns my future, so I can't disclose the details for now. I hope you understand, Brother Luo. A devious smile crept across Luo's face. I understand. Whatever you say, I'll follow. As long as my brothers and I get a share after the job is done. Zhou Shun raised his wine glass in a celebratory toast. Straightforward. 3 days from now, at 6 p.m., bring your men to my place. I'll share the details of the operation then. Don't worry, I won't treat my brothers unfairly. Luo clinked his glass against Zhou's. I'm confident in that. With a crisp chime, their glasses met. Let's drink to our successful operation. Zhou declared. To success. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet. Behind that calm smile, Luo, or rather Zhao Yan, thought to himself, whether you succeed or not, I don't know. But as of now, I'm doing quite well. Afterwards, standing alone on a high rooftop overlooking the city, Luo made a call. Officer Huang, the operation time is set. 3 days from now, at 6 p.m. I'll confirm the location later. On the other end, Huang instructed, great, carry on with the operation. When we move in, I'll make sure they don't shoot at you. Luo nodded. Good. This will be the last time. Make sure my police uniform is ready. Huang firmly promised. Rest assured. In the next scene, Huang hung up the phone, a deeply sinister and menacing aura radiating from him. He muttered darkly, I'll make sure they shoot you dead at the first opportunity. As for the police uniform, you'll never get to wear it in this life. Look, guys, I'm telling you, this guy is corrupt to the very core. Back on the rooftop, Luo simply smirked, his eyes practically glowing with anticipation. He thought, don't shoot at me? Do you think I'm stupid? You want me dead? Officer Huang, you've gravely miscalculated. Just then, Delay walked up behind him. Brother Jun, the people have been found. Luo glanced back. Are they reliable? Delay confidently replied, don't you worry. With that much cash on the table, we've got the best of the best. Luo nodded in approval. Good. Split the remaining cash among yourselves and keep it in a safe place. After this job, you'll never have to live like this again. Dalai bovid gratified. Thank you, Brother Luo. Lighting a cigarette against the city skyline, Luo pondered his next massive move. He thought, who should I look for among the billionaires 20 years from now? Jiaqing? No, he's already a billionaire. Brother Ma? He's already founded Alibaba. Suddenly, his eyes lit up with a brilliant idea. He grinned around his cigarette. Oh, I've thought of someone. The scene shifts to the bright, sprawling campus of Harvard University. Luo sat next to a young, curly-haired student staring at a laptop. He leaned in casually. Little Zuck, stop working on that course selection program. You're a genius, you know that. The young man sighed. I know, but I haven't found my path yet. Luo pointed at the screen. Let me point you in the right direction. You could develop a program called Facebook. It's something like this. The student's face exploded with pure amazement. He excitedly shouted, This idea is amazing. Who are you? Luo stood up smoothly, lighting another cigarette. Who I am isn't important. If you want to thank me, look for a young man named Zhao Yan in 20 years. Walking away like an absolute legend, Luo added one final warning. By the way, in 18 years, something called the metaverse will appear. Remember, don't get involved in that. It's a huge trap. He smirked to himself. Time to find the next person. Come on, guys, what is he doing? In the next scene, Luo approached another young tech worker. Little A, don't stay in this company. I have a suggestion. You can start making phones. I even have a name for it. Xiaomi. Lei looked up, highly skeptical. With Motorola and Nokia so strong right now, is there really a future in making phones? Luo simply replied, No rush, just be prepared in advance. As Luo walked away, he called back, Soon, someone named Jobs will invent a new kind of phone. Believe it or not, but when you do believe, remember to find someone named Zhao Yan in 20 years. Lei stared in disbelief, shouting, Are you trying to fool me? How could you know what will happen in the future? Afterwards, Luo confronted an iconic young innovator. Old Joe, I have an idea for a phone that you should consider inventing. It has just one screen, no physical buttons. The man's eyes went wide behind his glasses. He exclaimed, This idea is revolutionary. Who are you? Luo waved his hand dismissively. That's not important. What's important is that you get a medical checkup soon. You'll discover you have pancreatic cancer. Most importantly, you must undergo surgery. That way, you won't fade away in 8 years. The man stood up, shouting in utter shock, Are you serious? Luo kept walking without looking back. Absolutely. Go get checked. And if you live another 20 years, remember to find someone named Zhao Yan. Finally, Luo sat comfortably across a desk from a sharp young entrepreneur. Little Ma, invest in Tesla and build electric cars. It'll make you the richest person in the world. The man leaned in, deeply intrigued. Interesting. Can you tell me more? Luo smirked. Of course. In the future, a financial crisis will hit. Your rocket will fail 3 times in a row. Walking back out into the glowing sunset, Luo checked his watch, looking extremely satisfied. With these big shots involved, the company should be fine. It's about time. Let's go find Zhou Shun. Later that night, the city lights flickered around the towering Hua phone bank. A massive orange truck barreled aggressively down the empty road. Inside the dark shipping container of the truck, Zhou Shun stood before Luo and a crew of heavily armed mercenaries. He announced, Now, let me explain tonight's mission targets and plans. Zhou Shun grinned like a complete maniac. This time, the target is a rare metal called coal. Just 1 gram is worth 200 million. After this job, I'll truly be the underground king of Lin City. One of the armed men yelled, What? A metal that expensive? Are we going to steal and sell it? Holding his pistol up, Zhou Shun laughed. Of course not. This job is for an international organization. They'll help us dominate Lin City. Also, I've spread the word that Huo Xiaoqi has 2 hours to come up with 10 billion to ransom his daughter, or we'll eliminate her. So, the police are all looking for Huo Wanqing now. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. Luo narrowed his eyes in the shadows, his mind racing. If Huo Wanqing doesn't return, won't the kidnapping be blamed on us? Zhou Shun firmly patted Luo's chest, his tone dropping. Brother Luo, I'm sorry, but this matter is too important. I have to be cautious. Don't worry, after this, you'll all walk away safely. Luo kept his composure and simply replied, Got it. Zhou Shun confidently commanded, Next, Brother Luo, you'll come with me. I'll take you 7 inside to get the stuff, and Biao will stay outside with 2 men for backup. Standing inside the massive cargo container, Zhou Shun reassured his crew. He declared, Don't worry about going in. This place doesn't have the death penalty, and I can get you out. All right, let's move out. The twin storms, Feng and Yun, nodded firmly, replying in unison, Got it. Suddenly, the hired mercenaries piled out of the back of the truck, heavily armed and ready to breach the facility. Meanwhile, inside the building, 2 tactical guards stood watch. One of them looked nervous, muttering, The organization put something so valuable here. What if something actually goes wrong? The other quickly scolded him, Stop jinxing it. Tomorrow is the day. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. With a deafening roar, a massive explosion completely blew the heavy steel door off its hinges, sending debris flying everywhere. The mercenaries stormed through the smoke-filled breach, weapons raised. One of them barked out, Move. Quick and clean, as Zhou Shun and Luo Jiejun followed closely behind. A fierce barrage of gunfire erupted, instantly taking down the unsuspecting guards. They didn't even have a chance to react before the threat was entirely ended. Outside, observing the chaos from afar, a police officer turned to his boss. He asked urgently, Officer Huang, should we take action? Huang Guofeng just stood there coldly and replied, No rush. Let everyone get into position. We'll take them all down in one go. Look, I'm telling you guys, this man doesn't care about his own people at all. The officer hesitated, his face full of concern, as he stuttered that Jiajun was still inside. Huang's expression darkened as he snapped back. Didn't you hear? Take them all down in one go. Luo Jiajun isn't the same Luo Jiajun as before. He then firmly shouted, yes. Back inside the facility, Zhou Shun stood before a massive vault door, looking pleased. He muttered to himself, Luo Jiajun's men are quite skilled. I didn't expect it to go so smoothly. But then, a sinister plot formed in his mind as he commanded. However, this guy is ruthless and too smart to leave loose ends. Alfeng and Ayun, take care of him. Pointing towards the entrance, Zhou Shun instructed his men, guard this place well. The twin storms immediately acknowledged, replying, yes. In the next scene, Luo Jiajun, who was currently being controlled by Zhao Yan, stood casually by some lockers with the mercenaries. The twin storms slowly approached him from behind, their hands inching towards their weapons. The mercenaries noticed the sudden aggressive shift in the atmosphere. One of them yelled out in confusion, what are you doing? Without warning, the twin storms opened fire. With a sharp hiss and a heavy thud, Luo Jiajun instantly ducked behind a metal locker, sparks flying as bullets ricocheted off the steel surface. The assassin stopped, clearly taken aback. Ayun frowned, questioning, how is this possible? Alfeng tightened his grip on his gun, noting, looks like he's not just an ordinary person. Stepping out from cover with an arrogant smirk, Luo Jiajun dusted himself off. He confidently taunted, this backstabbing move is pretty slick, but if you think you can take us down with just 2 lousy guns, you're seriously underestimating us. They stared a fire at Luo Jiajun. But Luo Jiajun leaned back, effortlessly dodging the projectiles in a stunning display of agility. Realizing guns wouldn't work, Alfeng tossed his weapon aside and drew a wicked curved knife. He grinned menacingly, stating, you're a bit more impressive than I expected, but the twin storms of Lin City aren't famous for nothing. Ayun didn't waste another second. He charged forward with terrifying speed, his blade thrust out as he roared, die. With incredible grace, Luo Jiajun completely evaded their combined assault, weaving between their deadly slashes. He thought to himself, these two are actually this strong. Could it be? He asked simply, are you members of the club? Luo Jiajun swiftly caught Ayun's wrist mid-strike, stopping the blade dead in its tracks. Ayun looked utterly confused, asking, the club? What are you talking about? But Alfeng interrupted aggressively, shouting, bro, stop wasting time with him. Let's get him. That smile vanished real quick. Luo Jiajun's eyes narrowed dangerously as he scoffed. If I don't show my power, you really think I'm a sick kitten? At that exact moment, Alfeng leaped into the air for a devastating strike. With blinding speed, Luo Jiajun intercepted the attack, driving a brutal knee directly into Alfeng's stomach with a heavy thud. Seeing his brother get hit, Ayun desperately tried a sneak attack from behind, aiming his knife right at Luo Jiajun's neck. Without even looking back, Luo Jiajun launched a devastating spin kick, launching Ayun backward with immense force. The impact sent Ayun crashing violently into the steel lockers, severely denting the metal before he slumped to the floor. Standing over the defeated assassins, Luo Jiajun didn't hesitate. He coldly ordered his mercenaries, kill them. The hired guns mercilessly unleashed a storm of bullets, ensuring the twin storms were permanently dealt with. Meanwhile, on the other side of the thick vault window, Zhou Shun casually puffed on a cigarette. He mocked through the glass. With your skills, did you really need to make such a big scene to deal with some trash? But as he seized his mans, the exact second he knew he messed up, the smoke fell from Zhou Shun's lips as pure horror took over his features. He stared into the vault in absolute disbelief, screaming, This! Luo Jiajun locked eyes with Zhou Shun, demanding he stop stalling and hand over the goods. But Zhou Shun, refusing to back down, growled that he was just asking for a swift end. Without another word, Zhou Shun lunged forward, gripping a tactical knife with a vicious glare. With a sharp hiss, the blade sliced through the air. Luo barely dodged it, calmly praising the boss for having some real skills. But guys, Luo effortlessly countered, delivering a devastating blow straight to Zhou Shun's face, shattering his sunglasses and stating that his skills just weren't enough. With a heavy thud, Luo slammed Zhou Shun violently to the ground, completely overpowering him. Tossing the secure canister, Luo demanded the dirt Zhou Shun had gathered on corrupt officials over the years, promising to let him go if he cooperated. He also demanded the location of Hua Wanqing. Zhou Shun, coughing on the ground, sneered and asked why he should trust him. Luo didn't waste time negotiating. He simply turned to his men and ordered them to beat him. A flurry of heavy kicks rained down, and that arrogance vanished real quick. Panicking, Zhou Shun finally cracked, revealing that a USB drive was hidden inside a porcelain vase in his office, and that Hua Wanqing was stashed at pier number 3. Luo grabbed the battered boss by his thick fur coat, assuring him that he wouldn't end his life. He always keeps his word. Zhou Shun, trembling, asked if he was really telling the truth. Meanwhile, Luo's loyal brothers were already planting explosives on the reinforced wall. With a sharp click of the detonator, Luo gave the signal to move out. A thunderous explosion blew a massive hole right through the facility, clearing an escape path right to their getaway SUV. Look, I'm telling you guys, Luo had this entire heist plan down to the second. He shoved Zhao Shun toward the vehicle, ordering him to be their getaway driver. Zhao was shocked, realizing Luo had been prepared all along. Luo just scoffed, asking if Zhao really thought he couldn't see right through his intentions. At this time, outside the building, the police forces were getting anxious. Officer Sweaty Epaulets nervously asked Huang Guofeng why the explosion had stopped for so long, and why no one had come out yet. Something was definitely wrong. Losing his patience, Huang Guofeng barked the order to move in. The Purple Visor SWAT team immediately stormed the entrance. Suddenly, inside one of the gang's vehicles, Mr. Ambush Spiky Driver panicked, screaming that it was an ambush. With a terrifying crash, his window shattered as the police raid began. Huang Guofeng burst through the debris, only to see the escaping crew. Furious, he roared at his men to chase them down. A frantic high-speed pursuit tore through the city streets, with police cruisers wailing right behind the speeding black SUV. Inside the chaotic getaway car, Luo aimed his weapon right at Zhao Shun, ordering him to turn right and stop the vehicle. Zhao Shun, completely bewildered, yelled back in confusion. Annoyed by the constant complaining, Luo violently kicked a panicked henchman right out of the moving vehicle, telling him he talked way too much. With a sharp squeal of tires, the heavy SUV finally drifted to a complete stop. Luo and his brothers calmly stepped out of the vehicle. Luo told Zhao Shun to go ahead, and that they would hold the police off. Zhao Shun stammered in shock, eagerly agreeing. Afterwards, Luo and his team quickly slipped away into a dark alley, leaving the black SUV completely abandoned in the middle of the road. Holding a switch, Luo said, "Let's go. Let him die on his own, as if I'd help you." Seconds later, the police barricaded the street, surrounding the stopped vehicle with their weapons drawn. The loudspeaker blared, ordering them to come out, knowing they couldn't escape. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. Zhao Shun practically threw himself out of the car, waving his hands in the air and screaming that he surrendered and would confess to absolutely everything. Huang Guofeng stepped forward with a wicked, triumphant smirk, telling Luo Jiajun to come out too. What happens next will completely shock you guys. Hidden safely in the alleyway, Luo simply smiled, holding a detonator. He muttered that this should be just about everything. With a final press, a thunderous explosion consumed the SUV right in front of the stunned police forces. Suddenly, the tension spiked as Huang Guofeng barked into his radio. He furiously shouted, "What's going on?" Meanwhile, at the crash site, thick smoke billowed from the burning wreckage of a destroyed car. A police officer yelled, "Quickly check if there's anyone else in the car." A frantic subordinate ran up, reporting, sir. There's no one else in the car. Huang Guofeng's face contorted with pure rage. "Put out a citywide manhunt for Luo Jiajun," he ordered coldly. "Make sure to end him." After this, the scene shifts to the quiet waters of Pier Number 3, where a massive yacht was docked under the night sky. Inside the cabin, friends, the atmosphere was thick with danger. Huo Wanqing was bound tightly, guarded by two thugs. The muscular guy asked, "Why hasn't the boss sent any word yet? Did he succeed?" Old Sun's eyes wandered lecherously. "This chick is really hot. How about we have some fun first? Can we?" But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Old Sun wiped a trail of drool from his chin, justifying his sick thoughts. Anyway, the boss caught her just to use her as bait. I think they'll get rid of her sooner or later after they get what they want. She's so pretty. It'd be a shame not to enjoy her. The muscular thug grinned. "All right, let's do it." They cornered the terrified woman, a menacing grin spreading across Old Sun's face. He sneered, "You should be happy that you'll have one last bit of fun before your time is up." With a sharp tearing sound, he violently yanked at her clothes. Huo Wanqing shrank back, tears welling in her eyes as her dress was ripped. "Look, I'm telling you guys, never let your guard down." Just as the muscular thug casually asked, "Hey, Old Sun, why don't you join in?" A cold hand wrapped tightly around his throat from behind. The other thug froze, panic washing over his face as he screamed, "Old Sun." Suddenly, Luo Jiajun emerged from the shadows, his grip like a vice around the thug's neck. The thug choked out, "Who are you?" Luo Jiajun's eyes glowed with fierce intensity as he replied, "The one who's here to end your threat." With a heavy thud, Luo Jiajun launched a devastating punch, sending the thug crashing across the room. He quickly moved to untie Huo Wanqing. "Miss Hua, sorry you had to go through this," he said gently. She looked up, trembling, and asked, "Where's Zhao Shun?" "He kidnapped me to frame you." Luo Jiajun reassured her, "Don't worry, Zhao Shun is dealt with." Just now, he helped her to her feet, his tone turning serious. "Zhao Shun kidnapping you is unexpected, but now I hope Miss Hua will cooperate with me." She adjusted her coat, replying sharply, "It seems everything is going according to your plan. I need more evidence against Hua Xiaoqi." She looked at him with newfound resolve. "All right, you've saved me twice, so I trust you. But from now on, don't call me Huo Wanqing. Call me Yu Wanqing." That smile vanished real quick. Luo Jiajun stumbled back, absolutely stunned. He blurted out, Yuan Qing, the mysterious head of the Yi Group, the largest conglomerate in Lin City, 20 years from now. So was you all along. I should have guessed. Confused, she tilted her head. What are you talking about? What Yi Group? You wave it off. I'm talking about you. 20 years from now, you'll be the most mysterious tycoon in all of Lin City. The Yi Group you'll lead will dominate Lin City. But enough about that. Where's the evidence? She didn't press further, simply answering, It's at my house, in the plum vase in the living room. Luo Jiejun turned to leave, his plan forming. My people will protect you. Hang in there. Once I'm done with Hua Xiaoqi, I'll let you take your revenge personally. Relief washed over her as she said, Thank you. In the next scene, the camera pans to the grand, imposing structure of Hua Xiaoqi's villa, glowing under the pale moonlight. Inside, Hua Xiaoqi sat in his opulent chair, utterly calm as Luo Jiejun walked into the room. He remarked, Everyone is looking for you. Why have you come to me? Luo Jiejun strolled toward him confidently, hands tucked into his pockets. I have business, of course. Without missing a beat, Luo Jiejun snatched a beautiful plum vase and smashed it onto the floor with a loud crash. He smiled, as expected it's here. He picked up a small flash drive from the shattered porcelain. Hua Xiaoqi narrowed his eyes, asking, What's this? Luo Jiejun replied smoothly, It's evidence of your crimes, of course. Next, I need you to help me take care of Huang Guofeng. Otherwise, you're finished. Understand? Instead of panicking, Hua Xiaoqi just smirked. Taking care of Huang Guofeng? Fine, I agree. He adjusted his glasses. That works perfectly. Huang Guofeng knows too much. I was just about to get rid of him. But guys, the real twist hasn't even started yet. Luo Jiejun leaned in. I haven't finished. I want you to support me in becoming the chief of police of Lin City. Hua Xiaoqi raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued. It's not that I don't want to help. The Hua family does have considerable influence in Lin City, but it might be difficult with just my family alone. Luo Jiejun didn't bat an eye. Don't worry. He confidently held up the flash drive. I have plenty of evidence against various officials. I'm sure they'll cooperate with you. Hua Xiaoqi nodded, a dark grin spreading across his face. That makes things much easier. Luo Jiejun leaned over the armrest, whispering, Don't worry, old Hua. Once it's done, Lin City will be ours. Luo Jiejun's eyes gleamed with absolute triumph as he thought to himself. Next, after we get the call from the bank and the deal is done, I'll be the chief of police and the underground king of Lin City. That outcome will surely shock Luo Jiejun. Friends, the night was completely quiet over the dark sea, with a massive, glowing cruise ship cutting gracefully through the waves. Inside, Luo Jiejun was having a private meeting with the mysterious purple-masked foreigner. The man held up his glass, declaring, That's right, it's this. From tonight onwards, you'll be the true underground king of Lin City. Anyone who dares oppose you will crush them. Luo, keeping his composure, questioned him, So may I ask, what exactly is your organization? The foreigner just gave a sinister smirk. You don't need to worry about that. Just know that there's nothing we can't accomplish. Luo thought to himself, This foreigner feels really strong. I wonder if he has any connection with the club. But he quickly brushed the thought aside. Forget it. Let's deal with the high and mighty chief, Huang, first. Meanwhile, back at the precinct, Huang Guofeng was furiously confronting Director Lin. He aggressively stepped forward and demanded, Director Lin, why did you cancel a manhunt for Luo Jiejun? Lin simply narrowed his eyes and replied coldly, Do I need to explain my actions to you? Huang Guofeng immediately backed down, breaking into a nervous sweat and forcing a highly awkward smile. Director Lin, you're being too serious. But I've been in charge of this case from the beginning. Suddenly, the door swung open with a soft click, and a familiar voice casually echoed, There's no need for you to worry about it any further. Luo Jiejun strolled right into the office, leaving Huang completely paralyzed in shock. Huang Guofeng's eyes practically bulged out of his skull in pure, unfiltered rage as he shouted his name, Luo Jiejun. Luo just gave a relaxed smirk and tipped his hat. What? Don't you recognize me? I'm a legitimate officer, badge number 9527. Also, I'm about to become the chief of police. Guys, I think Huang just forgot how to breathe. He stared in absolute disbelief, screaming, Chief of police. He desperately turned to his boss. Director Lin, is this true? Director Lin didn't even flinch. He stated calmly, Yes, after careful consideration, it's been decided. Due to Officer Luo's outstanding performance in undercover operations over the years, from now on, Officer Luo is promoted to chief of police. Huang Guofeng completely lost his mind, panicking like a cornered rat. How could this be? This isn't according to the rules. But Director Lin hit him with the ultimate reality check. Rules? You don't need to worry about that, because you've been arrested. Men, take him away. Right on cue, two uniformed officers stepped into the room. The exact second he knew he messed up, look at his face, friends. They handcuff him, he shouted. Why? Why are you arresting me? Luo leaned in and replied, Because I reported you. You really wanted me dead, didn't you? Well, I've been waiting for you to die too. So, I provided Director Lin with enough evidence. Director Lin slammed his hand on the desk with a heavy thud, finally letting out his pent-up frustration. Huang Guofeng, if it weren't for Officer Luo, no, Chief Luo, I would still be in the dark about all the bad things you've done over the years. Take him away. And just like that, the once powerful, corrupt Huang Guofeng was handcuffed and escorted out the door, while Luo watched with a deeply satisfied grin. Trust me, guys, you do not want to mess with a guy holding all your secrets. Once they were alone, Director Lin nervously rubbed his hands together, sweating bullets. Chief Luo, are you satisfied with how this was handled? Luo casually replied, I'm very satisfied. But Lin was still on edge. And those incriminating documents? Luo simply waved his hand dismissively as he turned to leave. Isn't it better if we just keep things peaceful between us? Don't worry, Director Lin. There's no benefit for me in turning you in. Lin exhaled a massive sigh of relief. Good. Afterwards, the scene shifted to the Grand Hui family villa, glowing quietly under the bright moonlight. Inside, Luo Jejun was sitting comfortably across from the city's richest man, Hua Xiaoqi. Hua asked carefully, Chief, are you satisfied with what I've done for you? Luo nodded calmly. Satisfied, very satisfied. Hua leaned in with a hopeful, desperate smile. Then could you possibly? But Luo cut him off with a cold, piercing stare. Unfortunately, whether you get to go free isn't up to me. Hua looked completely bewildered. Then who else? Suddenly, a confident voice echoed through the room. Of course, it's up to me. It was Wan Qing, stepping forward looking absolutely fierce. Hua jumped up, pretending to be a caring father. Wan Qing, you escaped? Are you all right? But she wasn't buying a single ounce of his nonsense. She replied coldly, you don't need to worry about that. Let's talk about what happened 23 years ago. She glared right through him, asking the ultimate question. Do you remember a woman named Yi Meng? That smile vanished real quick, guys. Hua's face went completely pale, his eyes widening with absolute, unfiltered terror. His legs gave out entirely, and a teacup shattered on the floor with a sharp crash as he felt his knees. He stuttered in pure panic. You know everything. Wan Qing looked down at him like he was absolute trash. I've known for a long time, so today is your last day. But guys, nobody could have imagined this. Instead of begging for mercy, Hua's expression violently twisted into a dark, sinister glare. He growled, did you think I wouldn't see this day coming? Guys, things are heating up. Hua Wan Qing pointed her weapon directly at her father, Hua Xiaoqi. Panicking, he shouted, someone come here. Wan Qing just smirked, telling him, so what if you know? I want to see how you will turn the tables. But guys, this is where the story gets interesting. Suddenly, suited henchmen stormed the room, holding her friends captive at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Luo Jejun just sat there, calmly sipping his tea like he was watching a movie. Hua Xiaoqi glared at her, oozing arrogance. He said, Wan Qing, even though I wronged your mother, I haven't treated you badly. Are you really willing to see your relatives and friends face their end, just to eliminate me? Stepping closer, he said, Huang Guofeng is finished. As long as we end this, Luo, we can still live a life of wealth and power. Isn't that good? Wan Qing's resolve wavered. She lowered her weapon and pleaded, let them go, and I will let you do whatever you want with me. Hua Xiaoqi looked at her, clearly surprised. You are really willing to sacrifice yourself to protect that Luo? That is unexpected. Look, I'm telling you guys, never underestimate a guy who drinks tea during a hostage situation. Luo smiled confidently. There is nothing surprising about it, because Miss Wan Qing is smart and knows that not only will I survive, but I will also help her get revenge. Disbelieving, Hua Xiaoqi scoffed, you? The exact second Luo Jejun sprang into action. With a swift movement, he threw teacup at henchman, sending him flying back with a heavy thud. Henchmen started to fire at Luo. He slid across the wooden floor with a sharp swoosh, dodging attacks effortlessly. In the blink of an eye, Luo launched a flurry of devastating kicks. He struck the remaining henchmen down with explosive force, sending their weapons spiraling into the air. Standing victorious amidst the groaning thugs, he calmly adjusted his jacket. Do you see? This is the importance of choosing the right people. Now, honestly, anyone would panic here. Hua Xiaoqi fell back onto the sofa, completely terrified, and raised his hands. Don't, he begged. But Wan Qing stepped forward, raising her weapon. It is over, she declared coldly. With a deafening blast, she fired, ending the threat once and for all. Afterwards, with the dust settled, Wan Qing looked at Luo. Thank you, she said softly. Luo replied, we are partners, so of course, we help each other. But Miss Hua, how do you plan to thank me? A playful smile crossed her face as she brushed her hair back. What do you have in mind? Luo replied. How about we talk upstairs? Before heading up, the freed captive in the gray shirt ordered the others, someone, clean up the scene. Just then, Delay burst through the doors wearing his police uniform, giving a sharp salute. Chief Luo, he announced loudly. Luo Jejun waved him off casually. Big Lei, I'm leaving this to you. Let's go. Wan Qing chuckled. I did not expect you to be so capable. In the next scene, up in the bedroom, Wan Qing leaped into Luo's arms, her eyes sparkling with gratitude. Thank you, she whispered. They pulled each other close, sharing a deeply passionate and emotional kiss. OMG, they're having some intense moments. I want to be Luo, guys. I also want to exchange my body. Afterwards, they lay in bed, and Luo said to her, It's about time for me to go. Remember, the current me is just a shell. The real me is called Zhao Yan, and 20 years later, I'll be 21. Lying together, Luo said, just remember it. Confused, Wan Xing asked, what are you talking about? Suddenly, with a blinding flash of digital light, Luo vanished into thin air. Wan Xing gasped in absolute shock, her eyes widening. She stuttered. He is from the club. With a sudden burst of crackling blue energy, Zhao Yan materialized back in the club. Finally back, he announced. Standing nearby, Luo Jiajun asked, Mr. Zhao, how did the mission go? Zhao Yan smirked, pointing upstairs. Well, let's go to the second floor and check the points to find out. But guys, Luo Jiajun didn't look thrilled. He sighed, sure, but I have some bad news for you. Your company is about to go bankrupt. Zhao Yan asked, huh? Didn't you make any effort? If you had helped me handle the trouble, you'd have earned points too. Right? Luo replied. You had so many restrictive clauses in the exchange, I didn't know a thing, so what's the point of handling it? Zhao Yan was completely taken aback, breaking into a cold sweat as he realized his mistake. He muttered, that was careless. Meanwhile, Luo Jiajun was staring in absolute shock, his cigarette literally falling from his mouth. No way. Are you really a newbie? He exclaimed. Zhao Yan just chuckled with pure confidence. Hee. Don't be surprised. Susu did say my potential was very high. The holographic screen appeared, revealing the unbelievable results. Zhao Yan hadn't just survived. He completely wiped out Zhou Xin's gang and ended the threat of Huang Guofeng. Not only did he become the underground king and chief superintendent, but he also secured a stable life for Luo's brothers. He earned a staggering 4,000 season points. Luo Jiajun was trembling as he asked, you managed to end those two arrogants and even became the king of both the underworld and the law. How did you pull that off? Zhao Yan just smiled smoothly. You don't need to worry about that. Just give me your points. Trust me, guys, Zhao Yan knows exactly how to play the system. Luo Jiajun transferred his remaining balance, sighing, I don't have many points left. Only 21 points. He looked at Zhao Yan with sincere gratitude. If I survive till now, whenever you need anything, you can find me in Lin City, and I'll do my best to help. Don't worry, I'm thick-skinned, Zhao Yan replied cheerfully. If I need anything, I'll definitely find you. Then, staring at his glowing point shop, he thought, redeeming items will reduce season points, but if you don't redeem, you can't get stronger. Such a dilemma. He glanced over the body enhancers, ultimately deciding, the body is the capital for revolution. I'll choose this one this time. Upgrading his physical strength, he waved his hand. All right, bro Luo, I'm heading off now. Bye. With a flash of digital pixels, Zhao Yan teleported directly into an empty park. He smiled to himself. That Luo guy is quite meticulous, knowing to find a place with no one around for the exchange. Afterwards, as Zhao Yan casually strolled down the university hallway, his roommate Zhang Yuan came sprinting towards him, drenched in sweat. Damn it. Bro Zhao, where did you run off to? Boss Lei is looking for you. Zhao Yan blinked, confused. Who? Zhang Yuan threw his hands up in a panic. Who else could it be? It's Boss Lei from Xiaomi Group. He keeps calling you Mr. Zhao. When did you get to know him? Hearing this, Zhao Yan's eyes lit up with realization. He smiled brightly. He got here pretty fast, huh? Where is he? Waiting for you in the classroom. Zhang Yuan rushed out, said he'd wait to the death. Zhao Yan casually adjusted his jacket. Let's go to the classroom. Meanwhile, in the hallway, an eager crowd of students had completely surrounded the tech billionaire. They excitedly asked, Boss Lei, can you tell us how Xiaomi Group became so successful? Another yelled, yeah, you're my idol. The students were begging for autographs, completely starstruck. Can I get your autograph? One student pleaded, while another excitedly joked, a shadow would work too. Suddenly, Boss Lei spotted his target. His eyes widened with pure joy as he called out, Mr. Zhao, you're here, great. He practically lunged forward to shake Zhao Yan's hand. Zhao Yan smiled warmly. Hey, Mr. Lei, we're doing pretty well, being this popular. What happens next will completely shock you guys. The legendary billionaire placed a hand respectfully over his chest and bowed. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you, Mr. Zhao. The exact second he said that, the entire class lost their minds. One student screamed, wow, who exactly is Zhao Yan? Another yelled in panic, no idea. Isn't he just our classmate? Definitely not that simple, someone shouted. Just then, a bewildered student looking around the classroom asked, which one is Zhao Yan? At this time, another iconic figure walked into the room alongside Counselor Chinyuro. A student gasped loudly, wow, it's the CEO of Facebook. The entire class stared at Mark Zuckerberg in stunned silence, whispering to each other, what's he doing here looking for Zhao Yan? Weird. Mark bowed respectfully and said, without Mr. Zhao, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you, Mr. Zhao. Two students were pulling their hair out and screaming at the top of their lungs. What's going on here? Is Zhao Yan really that awesome? Unbelievable. Guys, at this point, even I'm speechless. Suddenly, a sharp snap echoed from the doorway. And there he was. Steve Jobs himself stepped into the frame, his glasses glaring with an intense white light as he commanded the room's attention. He asked, is Mr. Zhao Yan here? The students were practically shaking in their boots. Jobs grabbed Zhao's hand and said, "Mr. Zhao, we finally found you. Whatever you need, we're willing to go through fire and water." Zhao Yan casually slicked back his hair, looking slightly annoyed. He sighed, "Classmates, you're too noisy. Can you step aside for a bit?" But guys, his friends weren't having it. Zhang Yuan stepped up, frustrated. "I'm not leaving. Zhao Yan, you've got such a massive background, and you didn't even tell us." Another classmate chimed in, complaining about him acting like a big shot when he was just a fool. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan smoothly walked past them with his entourage, calmly stating, "You three, let's find a place to talk. Our company is indeed facing a little difficulty right now." In the next scene, the towering skyscraper of Changhong Trading stood tall against the bright blue sky. Inside the executive office, the tension was thick. Zhao Yan sat completely relaxed with his feet kicked up on the desk, while his secretary looked absolutely panicked. She stammered out an apology. "Young Master Zhao, I'm sorry. Since Shin Han made his move, I've been doing everything I can while you were gone. But the company's operations have come to a halt, and we're losing money every day. It's about to go bankrupt. Look, anyone else would be sweating bullets here," but Zhao Yan just smiled. He reassured her, "Don't worry, I'm here for everything." Suddenly, the office doors swung open, and a man in a sharp gray suit stormed in, pointing an accusing finger. He shouted, "What use are you?" It was Dong. He sneered with absolute arrogance. "Zhao Yan, didn't expect you'd end up like this, did you? You almost ruined my life. Do you even realize that?" Zhao Yan didn't even flinch. He just kept that infuriatingly calm smirk on his face and replied, "Brother-in-law, don't be so agitated. We're all family here." The exact second he heard that, Dong lost his mind. With a heavy thud, he slammed his hands on the desk, screaming, "Who's family with you? I'm just here to watch you go bankrupt." He then turned his fury toward the trembling secretary. He aggressively pointed at her and shouted, "And you traitor, now you're in trouble, huh? Let me tell you, there's no way you're getting back into Hanjiang Group." Zhao Yan completely ignored the insult. He calmly gestured with his hand and asked, "Brother-in-law, you've joined the Starry Season Points tournament too, right? I just had a thought. How about we team up?" Dong scoffed in sheer disbelief. "Team up with a newbie like you? Do you think I'm stupid? My goal is to crush you." Zhao Yan leaned back, crossing his arms with extreme confidence. "Well, you're going to be disappointed. If I send out just one message, the company's crisis will be solved immediately." Dong crossed his arms too, mocking him. "Keep bragging. Without a few billion, your company is doomed. I don't believe you know such big shots." Zhao Yan's eyes gleamed with a mischievous spark. He picked up his smartphone, typed a quick message, and declared, "All right, you can take action now." Dong stood there with his hands behind his back, completely unimpressed. He smirked. "I thought you were going to do something big, but that's it?" Zhao Yan said, "Just wait and see." Suddenly, the office door flew open again. A messenger burst into the room, his face pale and completely covered in sweat. He screamed, "Mr. Zhao, something big happened. Xiaomi, Facebook, and Apple just initiated a transfer, totaling over 100 billion. That smile vanished real quick. Both the Dong and the secretary froze in absolute, mind-shattering shock. Meanwhile, Zhao Yan casually leaned back in his chair, stretching his arms behind his head like it was just another Tuesday. He casually said, "Calm down. They're all my friends. It's perfectly normal for them to give me a few billion." Dong started sweating profusely, pointing an accusing finger as he yelled, "Normal? My foot. You're just a regular student. How could you know such big shots? I wouldn't believe it, even if I were beaten to death. You're all just acting to trick me, right?" Zhao Yan chuckled. "Act? I know plenty of big shots. Why would I need to put on a show for you?" Dong wasn't buying it. He aggressively pointed toward the open doorway, shouting, "Stop with the nonsense. If you really know these big shots, why would you compete with me for a small company like Changhong Trading? Do you think I'm that gullible? If you got the guts, have one of those big shots step forward. I'd like to see it." Just then, a stunning silhouette emerged from the bright doorway. It was a gorgeous woman with flowing pinkish-purple hair, wearing dark sunglasses and a sleek fur-lined jacket. She stepped right in and confidently declared, "I'm stepping forward. What do you want to do about it?" Dong staggered backward, as if he had just been struck by lightning. He recognized her instantly and gasped, "Miss Yi, the richest person in Lin's city. Ye vanving pilaifu loret hair sunglasses, flashing a dazzling simile." Young Master Zhao, long time no see. Even Zhao Yan was completely caught off guard. He stammered in disbelief. You're really Yi Wanqing? Not her daughter? Trust me, calling a woman old is never a good idea." Yi Wanqing's smile twitched, and she shot him a sharp glare. "Young Master Zhao, what are you talking about?" Zhao Yan pointed at her, his eyes wide with utter amazement. "It's been 20 years. You should be 40 by now." She gracefully turned her head away, her confidence radiating. A lady can stay youthful forever. The pieces finally clicked in Zhao Yan's mind. He scratched the back of his head, exclaiming, "You've joined the club too." Meanwhile, Dong stood in the background, completely frozen and sweating in sheer panic. Yi Wanqing smiled warmly, placing a hand gently on her chest. "Smart. I'm here this time to help you, and to invite you to team up. How about it? Interested?" Zhao Yan didn't hesitate for a second. He grinned confidently and replied, "Sure. But guys, the absolute audacity of this next guy." Shundong immediately pushed his way between them. His arrogant attitude was completely gone, replaced by a desperate, groveling smile as he rubbed his hands together. He begged, "Hey, Zhao Yan, count me in too. I'm your brother-in-law, after all. Come on, guys. This is 180-degree turn of attitude." Well, that's all for today. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and you don't forget to share and subscribe. Bye.